Order, Madam Speaker. Sicela siphakame sonke.
Ngicela sithathele lithuba sigebise amakhanda sikhuleke buthule. Amen. Umuntu nomuntu athandaze ngokulingene ukholo lwakhe. Ungamkholelwa uNkulunkulu uthandaze kuze kube kusasa. Sicela ukubingelela umphakathi owakhele umasipala wesifunda sogu olana phakathi kwethu kwakunye nezinkokheli ezikhoyo zikamasipala wogu ezobukhosi bomdabu kwakunye nezenkolo. Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Leader of Government Business, Honorable Premier, Honorable Members. Sicela ukuya ku-order number 2 kwi-order paper. Ongokuzwakalisa amazwi ozwelwano. Malungu ahloniphekile. Sukela ukuhlala kwalendlu okugcina ihhovisi likaSomlomo lithole ukuthi sishiywe yilaba abalandelayo. Miss Magdalene Katrina Cronje, a former teacher, attorney, member of the KwaZulu-Natal legislature, amongst those that were in the legislature from the first term, been a chairperson of the Board for Trade and Investment in KwaZulu-Natal. In 1994, Ms. Cronje was appointed Deputy Chief Whip of the African National Congress, and in 1995, she became the Chief Whip, a position she occupied until 2004. She served in various subcommittees of the legislature, and at some point was a chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Conservation and Environmental Affairs. She was the member of the Executive Council responsible for education from 2005 to 2009, member of the Executive Council responsible for finance from 2009 to 2014. Siphinde sazise ngokudlula kwenkosi yesizwe samaNtungwa inkosi uPatrick Phamandla Khumalo osuka emdlini yamaNtungwa endaweni yaseMadlangeni maduze nase-Utrecht kwisifunda sogu kwisifunda samaJuba abathe kunye nonkosikazi wakhe bahlaselwa ngaphansi kwemvula yezinhlamvu besendleleni ebheka eNquthu. Unkosikazi kwakunye nezingane zikaKhawunsela Michael Buthelezi ezathi zashiswa ekhayeni labo zangqongqa. UKhansela uButhelezi naye wakwazi ukuthi ashe kakhulu. Sikhuluma nje ulele ngandletyananye esibhedlela. Kunezinsolo zokuthi waphonswa iziqhumane ekhaya lakwaButhelezi, okwadala ukuthi indlu ibe seyasha bonke bengaphakathi. Umama uJoyce Khumbuzile Ndlovu, owumama kuDuduza Gatsheni, ongumphathi laphaya kwa-Public Participation Unit e-Legislature yakwaZulu-Natal. Umama uMagreta Maxi Niehaus, owumama kaMr. Carl Niehaus, a former anti-apartheid activist and Umkhonto Wesizwe military veteran, who is the current leader of the African Radical Transformation Alliance. Bonke labo abathe bashiya ngezenzo zobudlova ezibhekiswe emindenini nobulili, nalabo abashone ngokubulawa kwinzondo ebhekelele labo abathandana ngobunye bufanayo. Bonke abasebenzi bakahulumeni, amakhosi ezizwe, KwaZulu-Natal nakwiNingizimu Afrika yonke, labo abathe babandakanyeka kwingozi zomgwaqo kwiphondo lakwaZulu-Natal kule iy'nsuku ezidlulileyo. Sithi kwimindeni nezihlobo nabangani, nangona labo bengasekho phakathi kwethu, kodwa ababenze baphile indunaphakade ey'nhliziyweni zabo ngokubathanda nokubakhumbula njalo. Honorable members, I therefore now request that we all stand up to observe a moment of silence in respect of the departed souls. May their souls rest in peace. The next item, honorable members, is item number 3 on the order paper. Apologies. I must hasten to inform the House that following our announcement in the House about the reminder to adhere to the rules regarding apology, the rules still remain effective since the last sitting. So, party whips and caucus leaders, you must know that it's still your responsibility to be counting the attendance of your members. The first apology that we have is from Honorable M.E. Phakathi, obambeke kwezeqembu lakhe. Kube ngu-Honorable uDr. N.N.G. Mahlaba, umphathiswa wezemidlalo, ubuciko kwakunye namasiko ongaphilile. Siyacela ke ukuthi simkhumbule emikhulekweni yethu, noma singewona sonke amasheshi kodwa sikhumbulane sonke emikhulekweni. Honorable members, you are hereby informed that on Tuesday, the 31st of October 2023, Reverend Keith Muntu Wenkosi Zondi was sworn in as a member representing the IFP. This follows the resignation and move to the National Parliament by the former leader of the official opposition, Mr. V.F. Tlabisa. It should be Honorable V.F. Tlabisa. He remains a member of the National Assembly. Honorable V.F. Tlabisa of the IFP. Honorable Mfundisi Brakith, may you stand so that the House can get to know you. You are welcome. We move on to birthdays. Honorable members, we want to take this opportunity to wish a belated happy birthday to the Honorable HGS Mavimbela, who celebrated her birthday yesterday, the 2nd of November. Ilanga elihle mkholo. Today, the 3rd of November, is also the birthday of Inkosi Yesizwe Sakwa-Ndwalane, the Honorable S.N. Ndwalane. Happy birthday. Honorable members, we hope life will continue to treat you well now and in the future as you prepare for the 7th term in your parties. We also wish to extend our congratulations in advance to the following members who will be celebrating their birthdays in the coming days of November. The Honorable Ms. Tinkosi, whose birthday is on the 5th of November. The Honorable Ms. Clever Queen Tichu Madlopa, whose birthday will be on the 11th of November. The Honorable Mrs. S. Rajbansi, whose birthday will be on the 17th of November. The Honorable Miss P.P. Herricks, whose birthday will be on the 19th of November. The Honorable Mr. P. Govender, whose birthday will be on the 21st of November. We wish you all the happiness and blessings this life has to offer when your day comes. To all of you, honorable members. Honorable members, on behalf of the House, I would like to wish our matriculants well as they are writing their final examinations, which started on Monday, the 30th of October, 2023. This House calls upon teachers, parents, relatives, and friends to rally around these learners and give them emotional support. This support should be extended throughout the examination period as well as after the release of their results. Furthermore, I would like to wish all learners, staff, and invigilators who participate in this examination in one way or another the best luck in their endeavors. This also includes both the senior management in the Department of Education, KwaZulu-Natal, and the executive authority responsible for education, the Honorable M.E.C. Fraser. This House, honorable members, also takes this opportunity to congratulate the Springboks on one of the most remarkable and important wins in their history against the All Blacks during the Rugby World Cup final. The Boks put up a formidable fight and was ultimately victorious against the fierce All Blacks. The determination demonstrated by the team far away from home was breathtaking. But of course, it was a characteristic true to all South Africans regarding our past and how we are where we are. It has never been through sheer luck, but it has been through dedication of freedom fighters that came before us. The Springboks represent that generation by showing true grit and character from start to finish. South Africa has become the first country to lift the William Webb Ellis Trophy and win the World Cup 4 times. doing it back to back. As we celebrate and congratulate the Springboks, we must also congratulate both the coach and entire staff of the team, but of course, the young man from Nelson Mandela Bay, the captain who lifted this trophy 2 times, Captain Siya Kolisi. We congratulate you. Honorable members, we will now move to order number 4, announcements or reports by the Premier. We will give that opportunity of announcement by the Premier. Honorable Premier. Honorable
Thank you very much.
The KZN Legislature tables the budget performance in-year monitoring report for September 2023, tables the ad hoc committee on presiding officers handbook report on the KwaZulu-Natal guide on the provision of support to the executive authority and deputy speaker in terms of standing rule 1541A1. The portfolio committee on agriculture and rural development tables the report on agricultural products and standards amendment bill B15B 2021 in terms of standing rule 2612 and 2613 of the standing rules. The portfolio committee on conservation and environmental affairs tables the report on the Veld and Forest Fire Amendment Bill B24B 2021 in terms of rule 2611B of the standing rules. We further table the Public Service Commission report in terms of section 1964E for 2022-2023. We now want to check if there are any tablings that we may not have recorded and offer that opportunity for any tablings that may not have been recorded. If it so arises, the member responsible we will allow them. This I'm saying, including those who are connected from the virtual platform. Honorable members, we have been informed and we have received a request and accepted from the Honorable Zulu, RZP. I must think very well about the initials, about her need to continue not to be fully adherent to the rules regarding to the attire until she is fully recuperated. This apology is recorded. This apology is recorded today and it will stay on until Honorable Zulu regains her full functionality. Siyafisa Magebo ukuthi ube ngcono dadewethu. Now we'll go to item number 6, formal motions or notices by the Chief Whip. Basabhunga nababhexeshi. Formal notices or motions by the Chief Whip.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and greetings to all members. There are no formal motions and notices from the Office of the Chief Whip. Thank you.
Thank you, Zwida. We'll now move to item 7, notices of bills and motions. and will now offer the opportunity for members to present notices of bills or motions. I will start with the Honorable Nkosi SC, MEC for Human Settlements and Public Works.
Siyabonga kakhulu Somlomo. Ngokuhlala kwalendlu okulandelayo ngiyophakamisa kanje. Lendlu iyakunaka lokhu. 1, ukuthi ontaba kayikhonjwa bakhohlisa umphakathi ukuthi yibo abakha izindlu. 2, bahamba bethi yibo abakhipha amatayitela ngokufuna udumo olushibhile ngemisebenzi yabanye. 3, behla benyuka bethula o-contractor abathi bazokwakha izindlu. Ngakho-ke lendlu inquma kanje. 1, ukuthi imiphakathi yazi ukuthi izindlu zakhiwa uhulumeni wesifundazwe ngokomthethosisekelo walelizwe. 2, ukuthi nawo-ke amatayitela akhishwa uhulumeni wesifundazwe. 3, ukuthi othule ucontractor uye okufanele ukuthi amkhokhele. 4, ukuthi osiduma ngabanye abayeke ukukhohlisa abantu bakithi. Ngiyophakamisa.
The next member is the Honorable Fraser MC, the MEC for Education.
Ngiyabonga Somlomo. Mhlonishwa Somlomo, ngokuhlala kwalendlu okulandelayo ngiyophakamisa kanje. Lendlu ikhathazekile ngembiko yokwenyuka kwezigameko zokungondleki kahle kwabantwana ezibikwe endaweni yaseNtuze kuWard 11 womkhandlu Mhlathuze ngaphansi kwesifunda iKing Drive. Lendlu inquma kanje. Ukuzwakalisa ukugxeka ubudedengu bomkhandlu uMhlathuze oholwa yi-IFP ngokwehluleka ukwelekelela imindeni ihaqwe ukufa nezinye izinkinga zomphakathi. Ukunxusa ungqongqoshe wezempilo kanye nongqongqoshe wezokuthuthukiswa komphakathi kulesifundazwe ukuba bangenelele basize imindeni ethintekayo ukuze kuvikeleke izimpilo zabantu. Hlonishwa Somlomo, ngiyophakamisa.
The next member is the Honorable M.A. Kiliza.
Ngilele Somlomo, ngokuhlala kwalendlu elandelayo ngiyakuphakamisa kanje ukuthi lendlu ikubuka ngomunyu onosizo olukhulu ukudlula emhlabeni kwengane encane na 5 years uSinethemba Ndzece Sibiya owaduka eMthwalume watholakala eduze komfula umfazazane seshonile. Kanye nengane futhi yakanyawose eneminyaka naye u8 yakadingimbeza nayo yanyamalala yatholwa ehlathini seyishonile futhi. Ngakho-ke lendlu yanquma ukuthi njengoba nje sizohlanganyela kule nsuku eziyishumi-nesithupha zokulwisana nokuhlukumezeka kwabesifazane ney'ngane, sifisa ukuthatha leli thuba ukuthi-ke sikhulume kakhulu ngokuhlukumezeka kanye nodlame olukhona emndenini nasemphakathini yethu. Sinxuse wonke ukuthi ajoyine abambe iqhaza ekulwiseni nalesi sihlava lesi. Siphinde sinqome nje ngamaphoyisa ukuthi kulokuya kwengane le yakanyawose akwazi asheshe abophe. Sinxuse futhi nokuthi-ke emphakathini onolwazi ngegilamkhuba lezi zengane le yakaSibiya aphumele obala alekelela amaphoyisa ukuze akwazi ukuthi amaphoyisa abophe nakhona ngokushesha. Ngiyawuphakamisa Somlomo.
Thank you. The next member is Honorable Governor P.
Honorable Speaker, I rise on behalf of the Inkatha Freedom Party to highlight the unwarranted hardships that are faced by a number of non-profit organizations across our province due to ineptitude on the part of the Department of Social Development in paying subsidies which are budgeted for. Right here in the Ugu district, child welfare societies and other NPOs have not received their subsidies. These NPOs have monthly expenses such as salaries for their staff, utility bills, the provision of food, and other social services. But instead of receiving funding, they are receiving excuses for months on end. This House calls on the MEC for Social Development to ensure timeliest tranche payments that have been promised to NPOs since the middle of this year. I so move. I thank you.
The next member is the Honorable MP Gwala.
Honorable Speaker, on the next sitting day of this House, I shall move as follows. This House notes the ANC-led government in KZN has failed to protect Amakosi. This after Inkosi's Pamandla Kumalo of Amantunga Traditional Council in Utrecht was shot and killed, along with Undlunkulu. Their 4-year-old child survived, although the Department of Community Safety and Liaison has been allocated 11.5 million rand for the proposed establishment of a community safety intervention unit for the protection of traditional leaders in KZN. This House resolved 1, the issue of the safety of Amakosi must be taken seriously. 2, to send its heartfelt condolences to Nkosi Khumalo's family, His Majesty King Misuzulu kaZwelithini, and the KZN Provincial House of Traditional Leaders. I shall so move, Honorable Speaker.
The next member is Honorable M. Kaula.
Angithokoze somlomo ohloniphekile. Egameni leqembu Inkatha Yenkululeko ngokuhlala kwalendlu okulandelayo ngiyophakamisa kanje. NgoLwesithathu ungqongqoshe wezimali eNingizimu Afrika wethule umhlahlandlela wamaphakathi nonyaka wesimo sokusebenza kwezimali zezwe MTBPS esinikeza isithombe esibucayi nesimpisholo ngesimo senkece ezweni. Emalini yonyaka eqoqwa nesetshenziswa yizwe GDP, izwe leboleka okungu-77 wamaphesenti ayo yonke. Ungqongqoshe ubike ukuthi isikweleti sezwe esingu-4.8 trillion rand njengamanje sizokwenyuka ngo-2025-26 sifinyelele ku-6 trillion wamarandi. Lesi isithombe esikhomba ukuthi izwe lethu lilele phansi ngesisu ngesimo senkece. Izizukulwane ngezizukulwane ezisazozalwa zizalelwa phezu kwenkunzimalanga yesikweletu esizokhokhwa izakhamuzi eziyizizukulwane ngezizukulwane zezwe kuze kuthi tshiyo sesivuthiwe. Lendlu inquma ukudonsa ngendlebe yonke iminyango kahulumeni ukuba kuphele ukukhwabaniswa, ukuntshontshwa nokusaphazwa kwemali abakhokha intela ngezinto ezingenasidingo zokuzinweba, kepha kubhekwane ngqo nezidingo zentuthuko nempilo nenhlalo yomphakathi. Ngiyophakamisa.
The next member is Honorable M. Tembe.
Ngiyabonga Somlomo. In the next sitting of this House, I shall move as follows. Social development is continuing to have issues with late subsidy payments to NPOs. DSD states all NPOs have been paid, but this is a lie. And the case here is that NPOs have started a petition regarding their late payments. Here in the Ugu district, there are still NPOs who have not been paid. Therefore, the House resolves the MEC of Social Development writes to Treasury about the persistent financial issues that are still facing NPOs and urgently provide feedback meeting to NPOs about the funding. I shall so move. Thank you.
The next member is Honorable Irek.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I hereby give notice that I shall move on the next sitting day of the House as follows. This House notes KwaZulu municipality received 1.2 billion in disaster funding from Treasury. Local business forums are interrupting projects demanding subcontracting work. An emerging contractors empowerment plan came to council a week after the council was disrupted by an ANC faction demanding the removal of the mayor and municipal manager, and for the CFO to be reinstated as well as for tenders to be awarded to local companies. This House therefore resolves that the MEC for Kokta intervene as KwaZulu municipality is being held ransom by business forums, and that contractors must be appointed on merit and be able to do the work they are applying for without interference. Madam Speaker, I shall so move.
The next member is Honorable M.W. Twala. M.W. Twala. I am now going to go for the third and last time. Honorable M.W. Twala. Acting Secretary, is Honorable M.W. Twala connected? Honorable M.W. Twala is in the list of the EFF, is not connected without an apology. Therefore, he is absent. We will move to the next member, Honorable T. Nkosi. Honorable T. Nkosi. I am now going for the third and last time. Honorable T. Nkosi. Acting Secretary, is Honorable T. Nkosi connected? Honorable T. Nkosi is also not connected, therefore absent without an apology. I am now going to the Honorable C.M. Shinga.
Somlomo nendlu ehloniphekile. Ngokuhlala kwalendlu okulandelayo ngiyophakamisa kanje. I-National Freedom Party iqaphele ngokudumala ukungakhandwa kwamabhuloho alimale ngezikhukhula. Ukuthi imiphakathi engaphansi kwe-Ray Nkonyeni isebumnyameni ngokuqhubekayo ngokulungiswa kwalamabhuloho laphaya egama lakhe noSitha nalaphaya eqina about Ward 26 kumfula ohlangeni ukubala nje ambalwa. Ukuthi isizwe senkosi siyamemezana ongaphesheya ngenxa yokunqamuka kwamabhuloho. Impilo yomphakathi sengcupheni njengoba kunezidumbu esezike zaphuma. Ngakho-ke indlu inquma kanje. Ukuba umnyango wezokuthutha ume ngokuthembisa manje uphuthume ukuqalisa umsebenzi wokuvuselela lamabhuloho. Ukuba izinhlaka zemphakathi njengama-war rooms, ward committees, CDWs kanye nezinye zibe yizwi lomphakathi ngeqiniso hayi ngobuqembu. Somlomo ngiyophakamisa.
The next member is Honorable Esther Kur Rajbansi, Mrs. Rajbansi.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I hereby give notice that I shall move as follows. Noting the frequency of truck-related accidents on the Peter Brown N2 exit, resulting in trucks moving at high speed down Old Howick Road. Further noting that on the 1st of November 2022, the nightmare of losing my children in a runaway truck-related accident near Marion Hill Toll was replayed in Athlone when a truck rammed into homes, killing 1 and injuring others. This Honourable House resolves to call on the provincial government to build a separate works, since reactivating railways is a spent dream. Moved by Mrs. Shamin Thakur Rajbansi.
The next member is Honorable S.E. Mangele.
Lokuhlala okulandelayo i-ACDP iyakuphakamisa kanje. Umphakathi waKwaZulu-Natal ezindaweni zasemakhaya ubuvela ukhihla esikanandi isililo ngesimo semigwaqo yabo. Okuyimigwaqo yesifundazwe isifunda eyendawo kanye nale eqhusha phakathi kwemizi. Emva kwalezi mvula umthwalo usuphinde wakhula ekhanda. Yonke imigwaqo izinkangula nje. Iskimu sovene impela. Ngiyazi ukuthi ngase kube ukuthela amanzi emhlane wedada. Njengoba sesibuya namajoka nje. Kepha lendlu iyakuphakamisa kanje. Ukuba kulekelelwe imiphakathi yasemakhaya ngale migwaqo. Ukuze kulungiswe isimo ebhekene naso. I-ACDP iyakuphakamisa.
The next member is Honorable E.B. Bapti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'll give notice that at the next sitting of this House, I shall move as follows. Noting that residents in the Ugu district continue to face severe challenges, risks and constraints with the delivery of water and sanitation services, occasioned by poor planning, long-term maintenance neglect, operational incapacity, and budget misdirection. It can be said that the municipality has failed to fulfill the objects of local government as defined in Section 152(1) of the South African Constitution. This House resolves to call upon the MEC COGTA to intervene in the affairs of the municipality to the extent as defined in Section 1391A of the Constitution, by issuing a directive to the Ugu Municipal Council describing the extent of the failure to fulfill its obligations and stating any steps required to meet its obligations. So shall I move.
The next member is Honorable M. Nye.
Thank you, Speaker. Madam Speaker, I give notice that at the next sitting of this House, I shall move as follows. Noting that in 2009, the residents of Lindelani 1 Transit Camp in KwaZulu-Natal were given assurance that they would only have to wait 6 months before they received houses. 14 years later, they remain in the camp, which is in a disgusting and dangerous state. Several houses which were impacted by the heavy rains are literally on the brink of collapse. This House resolves that the MEC for Human Settlements immediately intervene to assist these residents. So shall I move.
The next member is Honorable S. Moodley.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker. On the next sitting of this House, I shall move as follows. This House notes, errant truck drivers are repeatedly diverted off the N3 to avoid congestion before the compulsory stop at the first arrestor bed. It is time for government to stop sleeping behind the wheel and to apply a no-nonsense approach to unroadworthy vehicles, including trucks that pose a grave threat on our province's roads and curb reckless driving. This House resolves to call for harsher punishment to be meted out to anyone found to have disobeyed traffic rules or to be driving an unroadworthy vehicle. To call for traffic police to be visible 24/7 on our roads. I shall so move.
The next member is Honorable NJ Nkwanyana.
Thulani umsindo. Angithokoze Somlomo. Ngokuhlala kwalendlu okulandelayo ngiyophakamisa kanje. Lendlu iyakunaka ukuthi umthethosisekelo wezwe ukucacisa ngokusobala ukuthi wonke umuntu kufanele ahlinzekwe ngohlelo lwezempilo olusezingeni eliphezulu. Kodwa nakuba kunjalo, lokhu kuseyiphupho kwezinye izakhamuzi zakulelizwe kanjalo nalapha esifundazweni saKwaZulu-Natal ngaphansi kwezizwe ezahlukene zamakhosi lapho besahamba amabanga amade uma kufanele bathole usizo lwezempilo. Lendlu inquma kanje: ukunxusa umnyango wezempilo kwaZulu-Natal ukuthi wakhe imitholampilo ezindaweni zasemakhaya njengendawo yasemahlongwa lapho abantu besathembela khona komahamba nendlwana uma bedinga usizo lwezempilo. Somlomo ngiyophakamisa.
The next member is the Honorable TJ Gumedi. Somlomo ohloniphekileyo, ngokuthunywa inkatha ngokuhlala okulandelayo ngiyophakamisa kanje. Kuyabonakala ukuthi isimo sezulu siyaqhubeka lapha KwaZulu-Natal. Okugcina nje kube umtubatuba. Lokho kusikhumbuza ukuthi kusenabantu abathinteke ezikhukhuleni kusukela ngo-2013, 2017, 2019 and the last 2022 ngo-April. Lokhu ke kusho ukuthi ngaphezu kweyimali ezaphuma zeyinhlekelele nebudget ka-4.3 billion ka-23-24 neyicucwana zomhlaba ezikhona eziyi-13 labantu abakakhelwa namanje izindlu basathenjiswa. So indlu iyakunquma kanje. Cela ke umphathiswa wezezindlu umnumzane u-Honorable Sipho Nkosi asinikeze nje ngokucacile ukuthi labantu bazoya nini ezindlini zabo zokunomphelo. Siyophakamisa kanjalo. The next member is the Honorable Inkosi SN Dwalani.
On the next sitting day of the House, on behalf of the ANC, I shall move as follows. This House notes phela ukuthi ngempela sonto ngomgqibelo mhla 18 kanye nesonto 19 kuLwezi iqinisekisiwe i-IEC njengempela sonto yokubhalisela ukuvota kulungiselelwa ukhetho kungenzeka abathuthile endaweni zabo ukuthi babhalise kabusha ezifundeni zabo zokuvota nemininingwane yabo emisha. The House therefore resolves, calls on voters to bring along their barcoded ID smart card, including young voters who they may vote after they have turned 18 years, and commends the IEC on their state of readiness. I so move.
The next member is the Honorable CQ Mazlopa. The next member is the Honorable CQ Mazlopa.
Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the African National Congress, I move that this House notes that the democratic government led by the African National Congress dismantled apartheid system in education and introduced progressive policy in our education sector. We further note that the ANC put education as one of its priorities in the country. Also introduced no fees and school nutrition programs to ensure that learning is friendly for academic excellence, funding students of higher learning with NSFAS and government departments with bursaries. Despite noting the good work of ANC-led government, we also note some challenges in education sector. This House therefore resolved that the government introduce the ways and means of fast-tracking or setting time frame of issuing of TVET certificates after graduation and look at the NSFAS payment methods that is being used at the moment, including safety in our school for both teachers and learners. I so move, Honorable Speaker.
The next and last member is the Honorable GN Swartboy Ntombela.
Yabonga mhlali ngaphambili. Mhlali ngaphambili ngokusala okulandelayo kwalendlu egameni le-ANC ngiyakuphakamisa kanje. Lendlu iyakunaka ukuthi intuthuko enkulu siyibona ngamehlo. Ekuhlinzekweni kwezindlu, ingqalasizinda kanye nokuthuthukiswa kwezimo zokuhlala emiphakathini yethu. Ikakhulu nasezindaweni zasemakhaya kuso sonke isifundazwe sethu. Inkqubela phambili enje yenzeka ngenxa yokungenelela nohlelo lwe-African National Congress. Siyakwamukela ukutshalwa kwezimali okusha kuka 404.5 million eMzwabantu Municipality okuhloselwe uphase 2 kwamachi phase 2 cluster 1 to 6 rural housing project and phase 2 kwaJali rural housing project kanye nomasipala waseMdoni okuhloselwe amahlongwa phase 2 housing project and amandawe kwaCele rural housing project. Lendlu inxusa kanje: ukunxusa umnyango kanye nohulumeni wesifundazwe ukuthi baqaphe ukusetshenziswa kwemali kanye nokuqhubeka komsebenzi. Ngiyakuphakamisa mhlali ngaphambili egameni le-African National Congress.
Siyabonga malunga ahloniphekile, sesiqedile nge-motions and bills. It has come to our attention that there is an honorable member that was not printed, whose birthday will also be on the 11th of November, the Honorable Jim Jali. Hlabangani, siyaxolisa bolungisa ngonyaka ozayo, ubalulekile njengawo wonke amanye amalungu. Ube nelanga elihle nkosazana enhle. Malunga ahloniphekile, sesizawudlulela ke umongo ebesize kuwona kwisifunda saSogwini. Lapho sesizoyokwazi ukuxoxa ngombiko kasihlalo wozihlalo bamakomiti alendlu kulandela ukuza kwenu niligqiza ebelimele isishayamthetho niyi-multi-party neza esifundeni saSogwini. Yingakho ngalomzuzu ngizocela ngokukhulu ukuzithoba kunina ukuthi nithi ukwehlisa khona abantu baSogwini bezozwa ukuthi nizothini kubona. I therefore call upon the Honorable HGS Mavimbela, the chairperson of committees, for 20 minutes to present on the report.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and greeting to your good self, my colleagues, the executive members in the House, all the officials, nomphakathi waSogwini wonkana ngiyabingelela. In fulfillment of Section 104 and 118 enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, which empowers legislature to conduct oversight in section 104 and mandates them to facilitate public involvement in the legislative and other processes of the legislature and its committees in section 118 respectively. The KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Legislature adopted a multi-party program, which is a strategy executed through oversight visit by delegation teams, public engagements through oversight visit by delegation teams, public engagements, taking legislature to the people. In the year 2023, Uku district was designated as the recipient district for the multi-party and taking legislature to the people program. The KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Legislature held multi-party community meetings focusing on the levels and state of services delivered and related issues and conducted oversight visits to identify project and fact-finding mission to service delivery institutions that were identified for verification in all the 4 local municipalities in Uku district. During the community meetings, community members were afforded with the platform to engage with the legislature and various departments on service delivery issues, concerns, and related matters. The program aims to resolve issues and to improve transparency and accountability regarding service delivery. The multi-party delegation visit comprised of members from various political parties represented in the legislature, support staff, provincial government departments, officials, Uku district and its local municipalities and its official visiting selected projects in each of the 4 local municipalities. The 2023 multi-party and taking legislature to the people program was primarily focused on tracking the progress on the implementation of the National Development Plan and KwaZulu-Natal contribution known as the Provincial Growth and Development Plan at Uku district. The second pillar that the program focused on was providing feedback on service delivery projects previously visited and issues raised by communities in 2019 when the legislature undertook the same program in the district for feedback purposes. It has a specific theme in which it was premised on, and that was tracking of progress on the NDP, implementation and feedback on assessment was categorized in the following themes as the main focus for the multi-party community meetings, oversight visit, and actually taking legislature to the people reports. Follow up on project service delivery issues from 2029, multi-party oversight visit. Follow up on project service delivery issues from 2019, taking legislature to the people close out. Follow up on projects issues from 2022, taking parliament to the people. Projects and site from 2022 places that were damaged by floods. Projects from 2021 July, KwaZulu-Natal unrest and looting incidents. Catalytic projects that is aligned to the NDP, PGDP, and DDM profile based, focusing on the following. Projects completed and handed over in all the 4 local municipalities from 2019 to 2023. Projects currently being implemented in all the local municipalities from 2019 to 2023. Projects that are doing well currently being implemented and progressing successfully. Projects that are not progressing well in their implementation and also that are stalled. Projects from the district and the local municipalities, IDPs of the 4 local municipality and the district. Ugu district main economic sectors that has the following identification programs were zoomed in are trade and tourism, agriculture, mining and quarrying, finance and insurance, real estate business services, manufacturing, construction and transport. In the main, all the projects identified were aligned and were responding to the targets and indicators of the NDP and PGDP. IDP are expected to be aligned. The following thematic areas were utilized in sampling specific projects. Transport, where we were looking at the construction of bridges, pedestrian bridges, maintenance of roads, access roads to schools, health facilities, and household and learner transport. Registered, access and backlog, slum clearance, housing projects, bulk infrastructure services, and social and economic amenities. Economic development and tourism, existence, functionality, support and sustainability of cooperative and SMMEs. Public works, the employment, type of employment, sustainability, and skills acquisition, type skills acquired, EPP, and rural development projects, and is include section.
Mavimbela, ngicela lokho okwenzekayo laphayana ngemuva kungasenzi ukuthi singamuzwa umhlonishwa. Ngiyacela, ngiyaxolisa Honorable Mavimbela.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The help progress on NHI implementation, HIV/AIDS programs, implementation and institution functionality, including PHC re-engineering, COVID-19 and its impact, clinic facilities, security and access of water, sanitation and electricity, connectivity and supply. Looking at where we were focused on community libraries, modular libraries, art centers and craft centers. Education and social development, where the early childhood development, ECD centers, programs were looked at and their functionality, school functionality, the NSSP, security and school facilities. During the 2 days multi-party visit, 8 teams, which is 2 per each local municipality, were established to undertake community involving all the MPLs from different political parties that are in the legislature of KwaZulu-Natal, including the municipality leadership, the municipality officials, the senior management from the department, senior municipal officials, and legislature officials. The first day of which was Tuesday, the 20th of June, 2023, comprised of the community engagement meetings on service delivery issues. We wish to appreciate the participation by the traditional leadership, the municipal councillors, as well as the provincial government department. In this community meeting, the public was afforded with an opportunity to raise service delivery issues to political leadership. The second day of which was Wednesday, the 21st of June 2023, comprised of the visit of the project and service delivery institution or sites. The project as identified were a mix of the completed project as well as project not completed, which also have challenges. These visits were also attended by relevant officials who could brief the delegation teams about the project and respond to questions. Where possible, relevant political leaders and the ward councillor of where the projects were located also attended and briefed the delegation teams. The community engagement meetings were held in 4 venues per local municipality, 2 per delegation team to cover the widespread of the district. For the district, there were 8 teams and these held 16 public meetings. Each team was comprised about 7 to 8 members and held 2 meetings as follows. The first one was at 10 hours to 12 hours, and the second one was from 13 hours to 15 hours 30. The public attendance was satisfactory in most venues and had challenges in few. Each of the 16 meeting venues was at least accommodative of 460 people as participants. While the legislature uses multi-party program as a mechanism to engage with the public, as this is one of its core business, the 6th administration puts more emphasis on the impact of the legislature oversight intervention. Consequently, this report incorporates issues that were raised by communities during the multi-party visit and taking legislature to the people in 2019 in Uku district and the progress made by the departments and the municipality to address the issues. Following is the summary of findings per local municipality that were deduced from the community meeting service delivery projects and institution actual oversight visit to project and analysis reports. Now I will focus to each and every local municipality that we have visited out of the 4 that I have alluded on the above. This report is covering the report of the Umdoni local municipality, which is the reflection of the implementation of various programs and initiatives in pursuance of the National Development Plan and Provincial Growth and Development Plan and the strategic municipal plans within Umdoni local municipality. Umdoni is located under Uku District Municipality in the province of KwaZulu-Natal. It is made up of 10 wards, most of which are rural wards. Umdoni municipality covers the areas of Amahlongwa, Amandawe, Umzinto, Shayamoya, Park Lane, Scottbeck, Hazelwood, Asoka Hayes, Malibu Heights, Pennington, Sezela, Ifafa, Beasley, Mtwalume, Malangeni, and Esperanza. The municipality can be divided into 3 major land uses, being commercial agriculture, traditional authority areas, and coastal urban nodes. The coastal stretches approximately 40 kilometers. The town of Scottbeck is approximately 50 kilometers from the city of Durban and 65 kilometers from Potchefstroom. On the 20th of June 2023, the delegation held public hearings meeting in Emalangeni Community Hall, Amahlongwa Community Hall, Umzinto Town Hall, and Amandawe Community Hall. Issues raised during these public hearings reveals that interventions are required to address the following, but it is not limited to these issues that I'm going to be talking to. Water shortages, police visibility, housing, unemployment, road infrastructure, healthcare facility, and education. A total of 7 projects were identified by senior researchers, including those implemented by the district municipality and those implemented by various government departments. However, due to time constraint, 4 out of the 7 projects targeted were visited by the delegation on the 21st of June 2023 as follows. That is the Department of Sport, Art and Culture, Umzinto Sport Field, the Department of Transport, Umzinto Road, P1973, Department of Economic Development, Sesiafika Carpentry, and Sivusisizwe Agricultural Primary Cooperative. During discussion with Umdoni municipality, staff in preparation for the 2023 multi-party program, it was deduced that the district development model only exists on paper. It was revealed that sector departments do not participate on integrated development plan formulation, even when invited to participate. This poses a serious challenge for the municipality because approximately 50% of the issues raised and projects suggested by the communities relate to competencies which fall outside of the ambit of the local municipality. Therefore, integrated planning between the different spheres of government is critically important if government want to effectively fulfill its constitutional mandate and effectively address the socio-economic challenges faced by the communities. IDP is increasingly becoming a cornerstone for intergovernmental planning and budget alignment. Resources are also limited, and establishment strategic partnership between the different spheres of government will certainly optimize the impact of such resources. The IDP should therefore guide where sector departments allocate their resources at the local government level. The municipality should, however, also take into consideration the sector department policies and the programs when developing its own policies and strategies. For this reason, it is the interest of the sector department to participate in the IDP review processes of the municipality to ensure alignment between the development programs. Let me go to the Reinkonyeni. In Reinkonyeni, we visited areas of human settlement, Kokta transport, and Department of Health. And these following issues were raised. The community was happy in terms of the health facility and also some challenges with the human settlement. Let me go to Umzumbe. Also in Umzumbe local municipality, we look at the local economic development, youth development, access road and rural housing. The issue of water was raised sharply. Inadequate, insufficient health services was also raised. Let me quickly move to the Umzi Wabantu. In Umzi Wabantu, we also visited the transport facility, human settlement, and also Kokta and agriculture. Then the following were the observation of the committee that the IDP, as well as issues raised by the public during the multi-party in 2019 and 2023. The conclusion drawn was that there hasn't been much improvement in terms of service delivery at Umzwabantu. Then the following are the recommendations and the conclusion that were made by the multi-party committee visit during the 2 days. After identified service delivery issues and challenges faced by communities and citizens of Uku, they chose finding based on their observation and deliberation and supported by the KZN legislature, multi-party 2023 23 status research report and made recommendation after engagement and deliberation and all the project visited. These recommendations are attached in the report under local municipality section and has been given to departments for finalization. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. I am requesting table staff that at no time you must hide the time from me. Sengize ngiyakumemeza acting secretary because senifihla isikhathi kumina. Ngicela ukugcina service officers. The noise that is coming at the back cannot continue. And it is your responsibility to ensure that those that are there, either as marshals or as the extension of your support, are doing just that. The noise is unbearable. This is an indoor sports court, so it has more noise than an ordinary hall. Please. Honorable members, we therefore now call for the Honorable VP Kaluza, the Deputy Chief Whip, for 8 minutes.
Somlomo ohloniphekile, abaholi bam, leader of the provincial government business, usihlalo kaKhongolose, nosekela sihlalo kaKhongolose Magutsha. Izolo uthi uSomlomo evala inkulumo yakhe. Abanye bazoma phezu kwezintaba bamemeze okuhle osekwenziwe. Abanye futhi bazophinde bame kwezabo izintaba babemeze bathi akwenzekanga lutho. Ngivumeleke Somlomo wami ngime phezu kwezintaba zangakithi. Ngivumele Somlomo wami ngime phezu kwentaba yasemehlo mnyama. Ngime phezu kwezintaba zasemqangala. Ngime phezu kwezintaba zasemabheleni. Ngime phezu kwezintaba zakwaNcazolo. Ngigudle umfula wangakithi uMambongolo. Ngithi uhulumeni kaKhongolose ususebenzile. Ngivumele Somlomo wami ngisho ukuthi I am Vuyiswa Kaluza of the African National Congress. Ngimi lapha extremely proud of the work that this ANC-led government has done for the people of this district. I say this because ngangakaze ngicabange ukuthi ngiyoke ngihlale endlini enogesi ngoba the only house that had electricity in the location in Watu Sunface where I come from kwakuyika Brown abanikazi besitolo sase Sunface. Nabo they had it only because of their white privilege that was only reserved for the white minority. When the IFP failed to lead this district, Honorable Kaula, and this province, my leadership, Honorable Kwala, Umuzi Waga Brown remained the only household in my location on Nogis. The only household until this ANC-led government took over. Namhlanje asinawo ugesi kuphela, kodwa sinetiyela, ama-toilet, izindlu ezisoqophelweni eliphezulu. Kwaziseke thina sikhule ngezindlu zodaka. Uzoqaphela Somlomo ukuthi I deliberately opted not to count water. And I do this with full understanding of the water challenges that this district is under. But also I do it with full understanding of what the ANC national and provincial government has done and continue to do in assisting this district to resolve the water crisis. I also, as a citizen of this district, I do it with full understanding ukuba izolo lam alifani nenamhlanje lam kwaye ikusasa lam lizoba ngcono kunenamhlanje lam. This I say because there was a time when we shared water with donkeys and cows before this ANC-led government installed a standpipe next to my home. Ngiyazi bazofika abanye Somlomo bangakusho nogodo kuhle okwenziwe uhulumeni kaKhongolose. Abanye bazobe sebekhohliwe ukuthi sasincoma nabo ngesikhathi sizohlola umsebenzi ezinyangeni ezidlule. Sikhuluma ngazilinye ukuthi yebo zikhona izinselelo kodwa kuningi okuhle esikubonayo. They will not tell you namhlanje bantu basogwini ukuthi umphakathi wasemalangeni umphakathi wasemahlongwa, umphakathi wasemandawe, omningi wawo unogesi, unezindlu, unamanzi, izindlu zangasese ezinesithunzi. They will not tell you namhlanje ukuthi ingqalasizinda elimalile lapha eRenkonyeni seziningi izinhlelo ezenziwe yilohulumeni ukuthi zilungiswe, ezinye zawo ziphakathi nokulungiswa, okunye basithulela ngale nkathi sifikile la ukuthi sekuhambe kangakanani ukuze kuqale ukusebenza. They will have this amnesia because they want to claim that the ANC has done nothing. Somlomo wami, it is important to remind this august gathering that taking legislature to the people is a product of the collective wisdom and the unique character of the people's movement, umbuso wabantu bonke eNingizimu Afrika, the African National Congress, Inqole Masondo Sondo, which has enriched the democratic culture of our country by making our democracy one that is both representative and participatory. Therefore, as custodian of these ANC doctrines in this legislature, we have created an activist and people-centered legislature that intercedes and intervenes with the executive organs of the state and business on behalf of the people. We have created a legislature that seeks to ensure that the delivery of faster change in the lives of the people. Honorable members, this legislature that challenges public representatives to work faster, harder, and smarter to meet the legitimate demands and expectations of the people. This ANC has done so because it does not believe in elections that give the public representative a 5-year license to do what they like and come back at the expiry of that period to seek another mandate, but they do so rather believing in good governance and quality services to our people through enhancing accountability, high performance standards for its employees. Somlomo, kuyangithobisa ukuthi nokubona ukuthi abahola lemkhandlu kulesi sifunda do not run away from accountability. They do not fear public scrutiny. I say so because umngeni municipality oholwa yiqembu le-DA lahluleka lancama ukuvimba undunankulu ukuthi azokhuluma nabantu basemngeni. His refusal was a clear indication that the DA does not want to account to the public, that this DA is for whites and whites alone. That is why the people of Mpophomeni have only seen service delivery through the ANC-led provincial government. Ingakho sikunqoma okwenziwa umphakathi waseMolweni when they rejected this racist Israeli apologist of a party and decided to vote for the African National Congress in the recent by-election. I am glad, Honorable Speaker, that the leadership of these municipalities under Ugu have not shied away from taking responsibility of the challenges that this district is faced. As we see in IFP-led municipalities, where they think service delivery is about bashes at the expense of the people who are without water. That is why we see in Zululand, Uthugela and King Tltp, people complaining of not having sufficient water. Akusimangazi ke ukubona ithwetho lenkatha lizame ukuvimba undunankulu ngolwesithathu ngoba bengafuni umphakathi uzikhulumele ngokwehluleka kwabo ukuhola imkhandlu. Seeing more than 10,000 people engaging with the ANC-led cabinet was a clear indication that the people are frustrated under King Tltp kanti ithemba labo likhongolose. Sibabonile behlangana ngo-2021 bekhipha ukhongolose emandleni kweminye yemkhandlu. Lokhu bakwenze baze bakhohlwa ukuthi nabo abawinanga. We were, however, reminded of our painful past when we listened to some clips threatening violence in KwaNongoma. When people of KwaNongoma bethola inkululeko a few months ago, we were reminded of our painful past when we saw councillors being brutally killed and were forced to conclude ukuba sekuya ngawo amagama alaba ababethi bayobuyisa ngegazi umkhandlu kaNongoma. Somlomo, just like they did before, the people of Ugu district will reject those who are plotting against the ANC. The people of Manapanapa, Mkhize, Renkonyeni, Mtonomane Mnyayiza will remember the issue, what happened in Shoba. I thank you.
The next member.
Yeah.
is the Honorable Leader of the Official Opposition, Honorable Bwala MP.
Honorable Speaker, Excellency Premier Novemeber in absentia, Senator K.M. Zondi, former IFP Secretary General and former Deputy Minister of Public Works, honorable members of the legislature and members of the public, yanibingelela sanibonani. Uhulumeni namanje usaqhubeka ukuthi ethula amasu okuphucula ukusebenza kwamasipala ngokuthi achibiyele imithetho noma athumele labo abayincitha buchopho ukuthi bazolekelela kodwa ekugcineni awukho umehluko. Isimo esenzeka komasipala abahola ukhongolose abafana nomkhandlu weTheku, uMsunduze kanye noGu asigwinyisa imathe. Uhulumeni kazwelonke wafaka umkhandlu weTheku ngaphansi kwa-Section 154 esikhundleni sokuthi awufake ngaphansi kweso lo mlawuli kanjalo nomkhandlu wesifunda uGu okwembulwa kwembeswa kuwona uhulumeni we-ANC uyakushalazela ngoba nakho kuvikelwa ama-comrade ukuthi angaphelelwa idokwe kodwa komasipala benkatha kushunqa intulu MEC wakwakhokha ebheke khona ethi uyongenelela ashiye ekhaya njengesundu elishanela lapha ngaphandle lishiye eduze kwalo. Isimo sokugqoza kwentuthuko lapho ogwini kuyinto ephambene nomthetho wezwe. Ngikusho lokhu ngoba lapho ogwini sibhekene nesimo esifanayo naseHerigwala district lapho kwathi kuhleli isishayamithetho ngonyaka odlula umbiko wezikhalo ezavezwa umphakathi ngo-2014 kwavela ukuthi azikaze ixazululwe njengoba kwenzeka lapha ogwini. Incane inqubekela phambili eyenzakalayo ixazululeni izikhalo zomphakathi ezimalelana nokuthunyelwa kwezidingo nqavu. Iqembu lenkatha nakuba liwamukela umbiko othuliwe kodwa izinto eziqukethwe kuwo zifakazela lokhu inkatha ehlale kusho ukuthi inhlelo ezifana nokuyiswa kwesishayamithetho kubantu ziyinkundla zokuyozinweba njengoba sebeqalile ukuyinweba kweqembu elibusayo lisebenzisa imali zomphakathi. We have always said that billions of rand spent on these events could be put together, to better use in providing the much needed services that are contained in the report. Kuyiqhiloko ukuthi abantu basogwini bangaphakamisa inkinga zabo bese zingafezwa ngendlela efanele nakubo ongqongqoshe beyishaya ifuba bethi basebenzile kodwa iqiniso lithi abakenzi lutho okwanele ukufezekisa izidingo zomphakathi njengoba izinto ezethulwa umphakathi ngo-2019 akukho nqubekela phambili egculisayo. In addition, during the public meetings, community members did indicate that issues raised in 2019 have not been addressed. Sikuphi isidingo sokuthi kwehliswe kwenyuswa abantu kuthiwa abazobeka izikhalo zabo uma egcineni zingaxazululwa kodwa kudlala ngemizwa yabo benikwa ithemba elingekho. Ngonyaka wedlule theleka iPhalamende likazwelonke ngoNovember ngegugu elikhulu nathi esaba ingcele kulo mcimbi weviki lonke kuyo le ndawo esihlangene kuyo lithi zolalela izinkinga zabantu kodwa namanje akukho mehluko ezinkingeni ezavezwa umphakathi. Ngalelo langa umphakathi wakuveza ukuthi ezindaweni yaseweza kumasipala umzi wabantu kwakhiwa ireservoir kwafakwa amapayipi amanzi kodwa amanzi awaphumi. Lesi isimo esifanayo nasey'ndaweni yasezingolweni nakhona okwakhiwa ireservoir kodwa nakhona amanzi awabonwa nangalukhala. Ungqongqoshe wezamanzi nokuthuthwa kwendle kuzwelonke umhlonishwa uSenzo Mchunu wayemlapha nimi khona njengoba ngimile nje wamemezela ukuthi bazofaka imali engengaphansi kwa-150 million ukuzama ukuxazulula inkinga yamanzi kulesifunda sasogwini. Iphi imali leyo uma umphakathi ungenawo amanzi? Inkinga yamanzi lapho ogwini indala yehlula ondunankulu bangaphambili okubalwa umnumzana uWillis Mchunu, umnumzana uSenzo Mchunu, umnumzana uSihle Zikalala, manje sokuwumhlonishwa uNomsa Dube Ncube. Nozakwethu lapha eShamthetho umhlonishwa uMondli Chiliza ongakhona lapho ogwini eseyimeya yogwehluleka wancama uxazulula indaba yamanzi waze wabaleka wayocasha eShamthetho eMgungundlovu hired around 20 water tankers at a cost of 2 million per month in 2022 to bridge the gap. Its aging infrastructure was unable to cope with ingqalazitha endala eyalungiswa ayilungiswa ngani. Ingqalazitha lengikhuluma ngayo eyafakwa umhlonishwa umuntu omuhle Khawula. Umnyango wezokuthutha KwaZulu-Natal wabeka isamba semali ewu-13 billion unyaka zimali ka-2023 2024 kodwa imigwaqo mibi ayilungiswa nakuba eminye kuzanywa ukuthi khonke amabloha asemzumbe sukela ku-27 ukokoloshe umhlabashana umbuzana udabedabe upophoyi kwangwabe namanye awalungisiwe umgwaqo wethenjiswa itiyela kudala usuka edududu uye Mkhuya kumasipala wasemdoni namanje kusabanje uDonga kusuka eFairview kuye Asisi namanje kusabanje uDonga kusuka eLouisiana kuya kwaMadlala kusabanjwe uDonga njengoba beshilo ukuthi inkinga kuyona yasogwini kuphela no masipala ubuhlebezwe local municipality eHerigwala miningi imigwaqo engaphelile ukwakhiwa okubalwa P73 P112 and P113 osekuphela iminyaka wakhiwa umgwaqo nje P73 wasehlokozi waqala ukwakhiwa ngo-2010 kodwa sakhiwe u-7.7 kilometers esikhundleni sika 22.7 kilometers ubani lo odlayo ngalomgwaqo last year the same department lost 47.691 million rand which had to be reallocated to other provinces as the department failed spectacularly to spend its grant money. Imali izibuyiselwe emuva ngoba behluleka ukuyisebenzisa kodwa imigwaqo bibi. Nakuba zikhona inhlelo zezindlu ezenziwayo kodwa siyafisa ukuthi basebaningi abantu abangenazo izindlu lapho ogwini. Nakuba umnyango wezindlu unikezwe isamba semali engu-4.3 billion rand kulonyaka zimali wezindlu u-23-24 sokuyisakavukela umchilo wesidwaba ukuthi kuqala umsebenzi kodwa ushiywe phakathi ungaphelile. Ngiyabonga Somlomo.
The next member is Honorable E.V. Bapti for 6 minutes. Order Babukwala.
Honorable Speaker, colleagues in the House, members of the public, I greet you all. Sawubona, good morning. The exercise of taking the legislature to the people has given us a glimpse into the lives of citizens within the Ugu district and an understanding of the challenges that they face on a daily basis. Those oversight visits, the public engagements, and the reports that have come out of that provide us with an understanding that ought to direct us to deal with those issues that have the greatest impact. The one issue that was raised consistently, and it has a devastating impact on the lives of people, is that of an adequate water supply. And it is for that reason that I will speak to that issue today. I'm going to focus on the provision of this life-supporting service that continues to be the source of so much suffering in the Ugu district. As a citizen of this district for many years, I know all too well just how big this issue is and the extent of the problem that it has on our settlements, our homes, our businesses across the region. The public outcry that has come in regards to water services is not just in Ugu, it's across the province. It prompted the South African Human Rights Commission to undertake an inquiry in the year 2022, just last year. And what it found is a wake-up call, particularly for those of us who are in government representing our people. And I quote what the Commission had to say. The Commission finds that in KZN, municipalities in general and water service authorities in particular have violated the residents' rights to access clean drinking water, as provided for in international, constitutional, and statutory provisions. This violation of rights is aggravated by the pervasive sense of neglect, disregard, and in some instances, contempt for people suffering and their attempts to engage with their municipality through officials and elected representatives. That finding is chilling. It should shock us into action. It should elevate the issue of water to a position of priority because this has a profound knock-on effect on the economy of the country and the region. The growing need for proper jobs, particularly amongst our young population, is directly linked to the effective provision of water services. What we heard yesterday from the Minister of Finance emphasized the need for economic growth if we are to find peace and prosperity in our land. The Human Rights Commission, the panel that they established, also found, and listen to this, that most complaints come from the Ugu district. And so it is fitting that we are here today in the Ugu district to address those complaints. They had this to say after engaging with Ugu officials and representatives. And again, I quote, "The plan presented does not speak to the plight of the people who have complained and the desperation of the situation in Ugu. The panel expressed the view that the Ugu delegation had not conveyed a sense of understanding of the situation. And the panel noted that some areas have no water whatsoever, such as shopping malls, old age homes, and people inland have not had water for years." That's a direct quote from the Human Rights Commission. Now, last night, I engaged with a lady who lives in the southern area of Ugu on her water problem. She has not had water for over 3 weeks. She submitted a complaint. She got a reference number. And after several days, having had no response, she phoned. And in response to her phone call, she was told, "There is no water. Luto amanzi." She then received an SMS stating that the water had been restored, but that outage prevails. And this is a common complaint. And as I said, particularly in the southern part of our district. I can identify with her anguish and with her frustration. Every month, I pay my Ugu water account. But I'm reminded when I do that very often, several times a week, I bath from a bucket. But I'm one of the lucky ones because I've got water to put in the bucket. Some don't even have that. We've heard of the interventions undertaken by COGTA, making available grant funding to address some of the infrastructural problems. It's a start, but it's not enough. It does not begin to address the issue of incapacity, the upgrades, the extensions, and the maintenance that has to be done. The problem will not be solved if the institution itself does not go through a sea change that redirects its budget to its core function and the indispensable need for maintenance. Treasury guidelines of 8% are not enough to have.
Honorable Party.
Thank you, Speaker.
The next speaker is the Honorable ZLI Tltp for 8 minutes.
Somlomo weshamthetho KwaZulu-Natal Mahubela. Uhlalo kaKhongolose Mthombeni nosekela Magutshwa. Sekela Somlomo Mvelase Mnisi wemvula siyathobeka. Ndunankulu wesifundazwe KwaZulu-Natal umhlonishwa uDube Ncube. Ongqongqoshe bakwaZulu-Natal amalungu eshamthethwa. Amakhosi asendlunkulu umphakathi Phethelo Somlomo ngithatha leli thuba ngibonga inhlangano yami uKhongolose inqolo emasondosondo okuyiyo esiqale ngayo ukubona intuthu ngamehlo nokuthi sibone khona so sifika Somlomo ngivumele ngithi upolitika kancane ngikhale ngombulali uyalusi walusi owabulala umnumzane uChris Thembisile Hani wambulala ngesikhulu isihluku lesi thina siyazi ukuthi kube uHani usakhona ngabe abamhlophe kulelizwe abaqhubeki nokudelela nokuzenzela ngalendlela benza ngayo kodwa ke siyakhala siyazithulisa sithi ngelinye ilanga kuyolunga kwaphela izinsuku ezimbili ehambile uHani salahlekelwa umongameli weANC umnumzane uReginald Tambo sithi mabalale ngoxolo mphakathi nizizwele njengoba ngeke ngasho umhlonishwa uGwala ethi simosha imali Mhlonisha Somlomo namhlanje sizokhuluma ngengqalasizinda yamanzi kanye nemali uhulumeni kaKhongolose ozoyifaka komasipala noseyifakile ukuthi sikwazi ukuthi sidile neyinkinga ezibhekene nomphakathi wakithi zamanzi buka nje kule sikhathi lesi sesigaba sezimali zamanje sizofaka imali yokulungisa iwater scheme yakwaXolo kulonyaka kuzofakwa u49 million wokuthi ulungiswe futhi le water scheme izosiza abantu aba over 10,000 iqaliwe ukwakhiwa iqalwe ngoSeptember thina sikhulumi ngento esingayenzi sikhuluma ngento esiyenzayo izosiza umphakathi wakwaDumazulu emazimhlophe oThaneni eNyaseni kanye nakaGcilima emvutshini bonke labo bantu bazolithola usizo ngalesi scheme siphinde safaka imali engango84 million kwischeme sakwamgayi nasesizosiza abantu abangaphezulu ka3400 emabheleni kuneproject ebizwa nge-East Water Project nakhona kufakwa imali engango48 million sikhuluma nje iyasetshenzwa njengoba sikhulunywa asikhuluma mampunge sikhuluma ngokuthi hamba uye khona uzobafica bekhona besebenza sikhuluma phansi lapho iwater scheme yakamsikaba and surroundings kufakwe 155 million nakhona kuyasetshenzwa uzosiza umphakathi wasemnyanduzulu ibheka bathini nasensikabi yonke leyo imphakathi yakithi kumele yazi ukuthi siyasebenza sizodila nengqalasizinda yamanzi endaweni yaSogwini
Sikhuluma nje uqale ngaye uNovember sakha amabhoholi awu-65. Ngivumele somlomo ngikhulume ngamabhoholi lawa esiwafaka njengamanje ukuthi abantu bakithi bakwazi ukwathola amanzi. Sokhuluma ngomasipala waseMzumbe eWard 1 endaweni ekuthiwa eMawulweni, Ward 2 eGubazi St Face, Ward 3 kaDwanusi Hall, Ward 4 Mgwaqeni nasemageje, Ward 6 kaGibazi, Ward 8 kaMakhutha kwaMgayi, Ward 9 enhlanhleni enqolonqolo, nasemagwazi Reservoir 2 sifaka amabhoholi lapho kuwona lo 65 esikhuluma ngawo. Asikhulumi ngento engenzeki, sikhuluma ngento esiyenza njengamanje nje basikhuluma. Ward 10 eSibanini, Ward 11 eTin Town, Ward 13 eDekwe eMswilili, Ward 15 eDingimbizo, Ward 17 Mfazazane, Ward 18 ngisho kuthiwa angazi kodwa umsebenzi owenziwayo. Umsebenzi owenziwa njengamanje. Ward 19, Ward 20. Nawo bonke abanye omasipala abakhela lo 65 boreholes akhiwa njengamanje ukuthi abantu bakithi walingqalasizinda isalungiswa enye bakwazi ukuthi bathole amanzi. NgoJuly 2021 kwaba nezibhelu ogwini. Asivume mphakathi ukuthi sashisa ingqalasizinda. Kwakuhamba phambili nangethi singambali, shuthi siyambala. Kwashiswa izimoto more than 39. Kulezi imoto ezashiswa mphakathi, uhulumeni usuwenze uhlelo lokuthi zonke lezo imoto ithengwe. Sikhuluma nje umkhandlu usushilo ukuthi asafikile amavan awu7, amabhaki awu5, ama-water tanker amane, okunye nokunye kuseza umkhandlu waseRenkonyeni owuthengayo ukuthi ukwazi ukusiza umphakathi wakithi kulezi inkinga zamanzi esibhekene nawo. Salalisa umasipala waseRenkonyeni ngokwakha inxanxathela yezitolo ehlangene nerenki yamatekisi lapha esayidi. Kuyakhombisa ukuthi thina siyafuna ukuthi umphakathi wakithi uhlezi uthola intuthuko. Sikhuluma eyakhiwe uhulumeni kaKhongolose. Elungisiwe ngesikhathi se-COVID-19 kwamoshwa imali noma kwasetshenziswa Mhlonishwa. Siyasebenza asilele. Kuningi phela sona isikhathi. The next member is Honorable M.W. Twala for 9 minutes. Is he connected now, Secretary? Honorable M.W. Twala of the EFF is still not in the house. Therefore, his name falls off. Angisakwazi nokunithethisa mhlonishwa uMpayipheli nomhlonishwa uNtshali uma ninga debate ngoba vela ni debate. Sengizocela kuze ngaphambili the Honorable CM Shinga of the NFP. For 3 minutes.
Somlomo sengigijima ngicishe ngiphuka ngenxa yeqembu le-EFF elingakwazanga ukuphumelela ukuba khona. Honorable Speaker, honorable members, one of the objectives and oversight programs aims to resolve issues to improve transparency. However, We are still dealing with the issues that were raised during the 2019 oversight visit. During the public meetings, community members did indicate that issues raised in 2019 have not been addressed. It's only Umzumbe municipality that had some progress in improving service delivery since 2019 visit. Out of the 7 projects visited, only one, Ingazolo road construction, was not completed. I-NFP ithokozile ngemizamo ka-150 million yakwa-Cocta yokulungisa indaba yokushoda kwamanzi esifundeni. Lokhu kuwumphumela weyinselelo zokuphakelwa kukagesi esifundeni. Kudingeka ugesi umpompa amanzi athunyelwe emakhaya. Akhala ezimathonsi amalungu omphakathi kumasipala waseMdoni ngenxa yokushoda kwamanzi nokuyinto esihlalele esifundeni sonke. Amathanga amanzi awanele ekuhlinzekeni isifunda sonke. Somlomo ukuntuleka kwemisebenzi kungolunye udaba olubhekene nomasipala esifundeni. Kumasipala waseMzumbe izinga labantu abangasebenzi liku-53.2%. Elingaphezulu kwelesifunda. Izinga eliphezulu lokungasebenzi linomthelela ekwenyukeni kokuziphatha komphakathi njengokuntshontshwa kwemfuyo ngenxa yobupha. Ukulungisa udaba lokuntuleka kwemisebenzi kuzoxazulula izinga eliphezulu lokwebiwa kwemfuyo emphakathini. I-NFP incoma ukuthi kubuyekezwe inhlelo zokuqashwa kwentsha esifundeni futhi kwengezwe ezinye izimali. Kubukeka sengathi inhlelo zolimo ziyashoda kumasipala iReyinkonyeni njengoba amalungu emphakathi acele ama-projects azosiza ekulimeni ukuze kuthuthukiswe amabhizinisi. I-NFP yakuthokozela ukuphawula ukuthi umkhakha wezolimo ufake isandla u-24% womnotho kamasipala wasemuzi wabantu. Umasipala usize ekuthuthukiseni kwemfelandawonye yezolimo ukuze kuthuthukiswe umnotho ey'ndaweni zasemakhaya. Njengenye yezinto ezihamba phambili kumnotho kulo masipala, umasipala unomsebenzi wokuqhubeka nokusiza imifelandawonye yezolimo nasemphakathini edinga usizo zezolimo njengembewu, ushevu, amathuluzi, izinsiza nokunye. Nokho-ke sikhathazekile ngebhiloho likamasipala iReyinkonyeni.
Ukuzamile vele uChief Whip namhlanje. The next speaker for 8 minutes is the Honorable T.S. Mtshali. Uthi ukuziphakamisa nje Xolani still.
Honorable Speaker, the Deputy Speaker, the Premier, and the entire executive, Honorable Mthombeni, Nomakuchwa, the leadership of the African National Congress, ama-members asishamthetho saKwaZulu-Natal, omeya bemkhandlu ngaphansi kugu district, namalungu omphakathi, ngivumeleni ngibingelele. Ngiyathanda ukusho before ngiqale somlomo ukuba ngizokhuluma la ngaphansi kuka-African National Congress as we respond to ama-challenges noma iy'ngqinamba ey'bhekene nabantu bakithi bakwaZulu-Natal. Ngiyathanda ukuphakambisa ukuthi umbutho wesizwe umbutho wakhele ngaphansi kwesisekelo sabantu, ngakho siqhakambisa ukusebenzela abantu su-African National Congress. Oyosekela mongameli ka-African National Congress, ubaba uWalter Sisulu, he once said, and I quote, "The people are our strength. In their service we shall face and conquer. Conquer those who live on the backs of our people," close quote. Ingqinamba enkulu ekhombisa ukuthi abantu bayi-strength se-African National Congress. Honorable Speaker, sinokukhathazeka siyi-ANC yakwaZulu-Natal ngokuhlukumezeka kwabantu besifazane kanye ney'ngane eSouth Africa nakhona la esifundeni saKwaZulu-Natal. Ngakho yini esenzile siwuhulumeni ka-African National Congress ukungenelela? Sikwazile ukuthi siqinisekise ukuthi siqasha ama-social worker angaphezulu kwa-183 alekelela ukukhulumisana nama-victims, uqinisekisa ukuthi ayalapheka ngokomqondo, ziyakwazi ukuthi adlule esimeni lesi asuke ebhekane naso. We've also built ama-shelters for ama-victims e-GBV and children abuse. Lokhu sikwenza ngokuqonda ukuthi uma bedlula kulesi simo abasuke bekade babhekana naso, kubaluleke ngani ukuthi balulekwe, kepha futhi bakwazi ukuthi bahlale endaweni engcono kunale kade besuke behlala kuyona noma behlukunyezwa kuyona. Uhulumeni we-ANC sewakhanda designated sexual offences court, inkantolo ngamanye amazwi ebhekana ngqo namacala okudlwengula, ukuze kungathathi isikhathi ukuphothulwa kwamacala okudlwengula. Akagcinanga lapho, waphinde wakha i-register la okushicilelwa khona bonke abadlwenguli igilamkhuba esaziyo ukuthi isuke seyitholakala ezinecala. Ngakho ANC iyaqhakambisa ukuqinisekisa ukuthi siyalisana ne-GBV ngayo yonke indlela siwuhulumeni we-ANC. Honorable Speaker, u-ANC uqonda ngokusobala ukuthi sinengqinamba noma sinengxaki ukubhekana nokuntuleka kwamathuba omsebenzi nakhona la kwisifundazwe sakithi KwaZulu-Natal. Ngakho yini eyenziwe yi-ANC? Kodwa ngiyathanda ukuqhakambisa ukuthi the African National Congress on its 2019 manifesto said, and I quote, "Too many of our people are without decent jobs, and our plan is to draw more South Africans, particularly youth and women, into decent employment and self-employment." We said, close quote, we said we will remove work experience as a requirement for an employment, especially for the youth, and this has been done by the ANC government. Ngakho kuma-entry level post, abantu ikakhulukazi abantu abasha abasadingi ukuthi babe nesipiliyoni semsebenzi esebenzile ngaphambilini ukuze baqasheke. Lokhu kungezinye zezinto esayiqhakambisa kwi-manifesto ye-ANC ngo-2019 sase siyakwenza futhi. Honorable Speaker, the KZN-led ANC government in the past 4 years since 2019 sikwazile ukwakha amathuba emisebenzi for abantu bakithi bakwaZulu-Natal ngaphezulu kuka-424,746. Saphinde sakha amanye futhi amathuba omsebenzi awu-389,308. Siwakhela abantu bakithi bakwaZulu-Natal ngoba siqonda ukuthi ze ukwazi ukuthi impilo yabo ibe ngcono, kufuneka kuba khona at least umuzi nomuzi kube khona umuntu osebenzayo. Asimile lapho saqhubeka somlomo wethu ngokwakha amathuba omsebenzi ikakhulukazi for ulusha lethu. 73,566 job opportunities are created from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Ye Presidential Youth Employment Initiative. Agcinanga lapho somlomo, 58,500 job opportunities were also created with phase 4. Agcinanga lapho somlomo, Honorable Nsimang, siqashe abantu besifazane abangu-39,000 andazibambele siwuhulumeni wakwaZulu-Natal. Somlomo, asigcinanga lapho sagxila ngqo kulusha lwakithi KwaZulu-Natal, sathi ulusha lingagcini ngokusebenza kuphela kepha lube osomabhizinisi. Kumanje nje sikhuluma kule minyaka edlule sesisebenzisa imali engango-190 million ukwakha ukufanda noma ukukhokhela osomabhizinisi abasebasha siwuKwaZulu-Natal. Ngiyathanda ukuqhakambisa enye insizwe yomuntu omusha wakhona la ephethe ngaphansi kogu district iphethe i-Ed Notes, ikhampani okuthiwa i-Ed Notes eyathola imali engango-864,578,000 yokuyilekelela. Le nsizwa inenkampani ye-IT. Ngikhuluma nani nje kuney'kole ey'benefithayo ngokuthi wayinstola i-IT system kubona bane-Wi-Fi so abafundi bayakwazi ukuyisebenzisa. Ngikhuluma nje iqashe abantu abasha abasebenzayo. Ngikhuluma nje inama-contract nabanye bomasipala iphinde ibe nama-contract neminye yeminyango ye-government. Ivela khona la Ugu District, uhulumeni we-ANC osebenzayo. Honorable Speaker, the Premier of the ANC-led government in KwaZulu-Natal, kwintetho yakhe yangoFebruwari, wamemezela ukuthi yonke iminyango kufuneka ibeke eceleni imali engango-10 million ukuqinisekisa ukuthi ilekelela ukuthi kwakheka amathuba omsebenzi kubantu bakwaZulu-Natal. Lokhu kuyindlela yethu besikwenza ukuqinisekisa ukuthi abekho abantu abanganakwa noma esingafinyeleli kubona su-African National Congress.
Mantshinga. The next speaker for 3 minutes is the Honorable Thakur Rajbansi. Honorable members, you must sit here when you are the next speaker because it wastes time to wait for you. The next speaker after Honorable Thakur Rajbansi must come take the seat this side.
Sorry, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, the Minority Front understands the challenges in the Ugu district, even if we did not undertake this TLTP program, because of information coming through various community groups daily. The report states that the municipalities are planning to address these challenges. The approach is in keeping with our NDP 2030, the National Development Plan. But how do we continue planning if we do not have quality planners? Where is our case and planning commission's interventions? Budgets on the detailed plans for managers and actively managing the constraints will be key to success. I visit Ugu regularly. Local basically have to attract investors. But deteriorating infrastructure is a problem. Ugu is a coastal district, but the coastal management plan recurrent disasters. So Ugu needs planners. Honourable Premier, it may be worth the expenditure to get smart district planning business consultant to draw proper plan development in a holistic manner as per community needs. We know that capital development projects will bring employment and kickstart tourism in this district. So capital expenditure budgets must be ring-fenced. Qualified planners will ensure that the basic needs of water and energy is protected through green development. Honourable members, the MF appreciates that much has been done, but we must be realistic and also ask at what cost. We can develop Ugu by replanning in a cost-effective way. Thank you.
Oh, the next speaker is Honorable M.E. Pakati, who has tabled an apology. Therefore, we will go to the ACDP, Honorable S.E. Mangele, for 3 minutes. The next speaker is closer. Yeah. Honorable Mangele.
Somlomo mangbingelele nabo bonke abahlonishwa egameni lenkosi ethu Jesu Kristu. Amen. Somlomo njenge-ACDP siyakunaka ukuthi besineminyaka eyisihlanu sonke la endlini ukuseva lo mphakathi salelwe inyanga mhlawumbe eziwu4 ukuba sibeke phansi amajoka. Futhi siyakunaka njenge-ACDP ukuthi embikweni yayizolo kwenziwe umsebenzi omuhle kakhulu. Ama-department enze konke angakwenza ukuthi elethe usizo kubantu, enze konke okusemandleni awo. Ukube bengiwumfana ophethe isihlilingo yodubula iy'nyoni, ngabe sidonswe kwaze kwafika la esigcina khona. So kusho ukuthi njengamanje konke osekwenziwe okungaphezu kwamandla. Okuseleke la sesokubona sibuye ngoba ayisekho indlela besixolela abazalwane makukhona ngaphandle uNkulunkulu uyosiza sesibuya soqhubeka nesililingi lapho esigcine khona. Bese sekuthi uhlalo somlomo akubonanga kahle izolo, bengithi kuzoshiwo something ngodaba lokubulawa kwabantu, okuyinto ebuhlungu kakhulu. I-ZN Water Master Plan khona manje ngo-2021 esiyenzile, angazi noma isekhona nisasebenza yini, njengoba kwenzeka nje kuphela le term bazofika benza amaplani amasha. Angazi ukuthi ingakanani imali esiyawestwa KwaZulu-Natal ngamaplani, kodwa singaboni ama-implementation ukuthi ahamba kanjani. Uma singaplana bese siya-implementa, abantu bakithi bayosizakala ngendlela efanelekile somlomo. Mangibonge.
The next member for 8 minutes is the Honorable Simelane, the MEC for Health.
Thank you very much, Somlomo. Sibingelele kuwena kundunankulu, Leader of Government Business, ozakwethu bonke abakhona esishayamthetho nama-guests ethu ehlangene, siyabingelela. Somlomo, ngiyacela nje ukuqala ukuphendula umhlonishwa uGwala kulolu daba akade ekhuluma ngalo ethi kukhona imikhandlu engawenzi umsebenzi kahle. Kuyiqiniso ke lokho Somlomo, ngeke sikubalekele futhi njengokhongolose siyinhlangano elithandayo iqiniso eliqondayo futhi. Yingakho eminye imikhandlu yethu lapho esibone khona ukuthi inga ifake was meaning Siyabonga Somlomo. Somlomo, i-approach kahulumeni we-ANC kwi-state power is informed by i-Freedom Charter. Ikakhulukazi lesigaba kwi-Freedom Charter esithi the people shall govern. Yingakho sithi i-Tltp noma i-taking parliament to the people iletha abantu noma iletha uhulumeni ebantwini. I-ANC transparent ehola ngokuvulelekile governs openly and abantu njalo and siyazicommita kulokho okungasho ukuthi babengekho ohulumeni before African National Congress province KwaZulu-Natal. Qiniso siyalazi Somlomo ukuthi ngo-2004 kule province. Before that, inkatha iphethe yodwa. Asikaze sibone indawo ihamba emphakathini. Inkatha noNgcukankulu before as a side note, siyafisa ukubakhumbuza abantu ukuthi cha inkatha njengoba isisayine i-moonshot agreement ne-DA babuyela kule agreement ababenayo nohulumeni obandlululo, so kusho ukuthi bafuna ukuphatha ngaleyo ndlela. Somlomo, intuthuko kule intuthuko iya ebantwini bonke ngokulingana. Siyazi ukuthi kulo before kungene i-ANC intuthuko yayiyabaholi ungena uhambe straight to emzini womholi udlule iklinikhi udlule isibhedlela ungangeni lapho kodwa kulabo bantu siyazi ukuthi ugesi wawuhamba uye emzini yabaholi kodwa umphakathi ukhona ungakwazi ukuthi ungene ugesi uma befuna ngisho amagama ngizobasho abaholi benkatha ngoba siyabazi. Somlomo ngiyafisa ukusho ukuthi la njenge-province yaKwaZulu-Natal in terms of infrastructure kukhona esesiku-prioritizile and si-prioritize abantu. This province inkatha yayiphethe until 2004 abenzanga lutho. Ngiyeza lokho ngoba kubalulekile ukuthi sibakhumbuze ukuthi akukho ukushabeza nakho baphatha kusuka ngo-1975 baze kwaba u-2005 bangasebenzela lutho siyi-province yaKwaZulu-Natal. Kodwa kwathi nakungena uhulumeni
And he's been mentioned a lot. Comrade Mkulu was being interviewed. He was the premier at the time. And he talks about deployment committees and that the ANC are in line with deployment committees and that they will appoint people in both executive positions and also into administration. That's where the problem lies. The minute you start putting cadres into an administration position, you end up with people who cannot do the job. He goes on to say that when there's a vacancy of an HOD position or something like that, then the ANC deployment committee will convene, and at the time, Honorable Zigalala was the chairperson of this committee, and they will decide politically who gets appointed. And that's part of the problem. And that's why you look at the Human Rights Commission on water, you look at some of the challenges in this particular area, that's one of the problems. But you see, the ANC just operate within their own political sphere. They're not an inclusive society. They don't include everybody. Unlike the Springboks that are diverse and unified in their diversity. It just doesn't happen in the ANC. So what's the result of this? Well, here's the result. There is now an enforcement award against the office of the Premier for an amount of 9.4 million rand. 9.4 million rand, and this is an attachment order, Madam Speaker. 9.4 million rand because of the political interference in appointing staff. So I'm not sure if the Premier is going to have a desk very soon or a telephone. They're probably all going to attach it. And that's the problem. We become so focused on politics that we actually lose sight of the end goal. Much like the Springboks, if they didn't focus as a unified team on the end goal, they wouldn't have achieved the greatness that they've achieved. So I think we need to refocus and re-energize ourselves. Madam Speaker, in closing, I just want to say, Kase, le Congolese, le philile nje.
The next speaker for 7 minutes is Honorable M. Kaula. Oh, kumeza semzumbe la izansi.
Ngiyathokoza Somlomo ohloniphekile abahlonishwa amalungu esishayamithetho. Somlomo ngithokozela ucosha ithuba uba ngibe umlomo wabantu besifunda ugu egameni leqembu lenkatha yenkululeko. Ngibadlulisela izikhalazo zabo kuhulumeni okhanda lawo lifuze inhloko yokhozi. Somlomo iPhalamende belila kwisifunda sogu ngo-2019 bakhuluma abantu kusafana. Kufike umhlonishwa uRamaphosa umongameli wezwe ehamba nePhalamende likazwelonke bakhuluma abantu ngo-2022 kusafana. Kulonyaka ngoJuni lamalungu abezungeza la bakhuluma abantu kusafana, kodwa ke ngibuyele kule yokungenzi lutho umhlonishwa uSimelane akhuluma ngayo. Somlomo ohloniphekile, bonke labantu abagcwele la endlini bafunde kulezi izikole zokungenzi lutho ezakhe umntwana kwaphinda ngene. Abakaze badube ukufunda kuzona ngoba bethi zakhiwe umntwana. Somlomo ohloniphekile, abaningi bawothisha bafunde emakolishini akhiwe umntwana. Somlomo ohloniphekile, abanye bahonesi bebesebenza emakliniki naseyibhedlela ezakhiwe
Honorable
umntwana.
Kaula, please take your seat. Ayakenzanga nto. Ngicela nje ukuthi amalungu wona ayazi ukuthi aphelaphi, kodwa ngiyacela amalungu omphakathi singaze singamuzwa umhlonishwa uKhawula aniyona ingxenye yendlu. Kubeleka mhlonishwa uKhawula.
Somlomo
Hayi,
ohloniphekile,
ayakhalaza nje.
Somlomo ohloniphekile, umhlonishwa ungqongqoshe uSimelane uphethe umnyango wezempilo, uphethe amakliniki. Akakaze waduba athi ngoba kho umntwana kawaphathi. uphethe ibhedlela akakazaziduba athi ngoba zakho umntwana akaziphathi. Umhlonishwa uFraser uphethe ezemfundo. Iy'kole aziphethe sibalelwa iy'nkulungwane eziyisithupha zingaphansi kwama50 ezakhiwe ngemva kwa-1994. Zonke lezi eziyinkulungwane eziyisihlanu yilezi azifice zikhona zakhiwe nohulumeni abathi awenzanga lutho. Ake sikhulume ngokungenzi lutho umhlonishwa Somlomo. Akakaze abe khona ungqongqoshe wezemigwaqo umhlonishwa uNdebele KwaZulu-Natal ephethwe ukhongolose. Waye ungqongqoshe wezemigwaqo ephethwe uhulumeni wenkathi. Manje-ke lemigwaqo abakhuluma ngayo esikhundleni sokuthi bancome umhlonishwa uMantshinga, esikhundleni sokuthi bancome umhlonishwa uMdlalosi, esikhundleni sokuthi bancome umhlonishwa uNgubane, bancome uNdebele ezifu uNdebele wayeziphethe, wayephethwe ethunywa wenza lemigwaqo enikhuluma ngayo. Mhlonishwa Somlomo, ake ngithi mangidlulela kokunye umphakathi wesifundazwe sakithi uKhisa sikaNandi ngenxa yobugebengu obudlalu baphelile osomatekisi bebhuqwa inhlamvu la esayidi nasehadingi lapha ehadingi inhlamvu idlalu bemini amaphoyisa akhona agcwele idolobha kodwa azifanele nje nezichuse kule nhlamvu osomatekisi sebeze bangena emaphakatheni abo baqasha izinsizwa eziqapha idolobha nakuba sekuthe ukuba ngcono ukuphucwa kwabantu izikhwama imali amaselula nokunye ukhona lo hulumeni ubukile izwe lakithi isifundazwe sakithi konke sekuphenduke kwaba kwampunzi edlemini Somlomo ngoba ofuna ukungena nezinto zakhe ezingekho emthethweni ungena ngala ayophuma ngale siyizwe elingenamthetho zonke izitolo ezisemalokishini nasemakhaya zigcwele abokufika abangenazo izimvume zokube emzansi kodwa ubukile uhulumeni badayisa inoma yini engahloliwe izingane ezincane ezisengcupheni yokuthi silahlekelwe impilo abayikhokhi intela abazoka omafezi bawumthetho wabo siqu ubukile lo hulumeni umnotho wezwe uyahamba ushona phansi ubukile lo hulumeni izwe lemantwengtwengu balala la bahweba la baphila la amadolobha lengizidwedwe imigwaqo iyaxathuka baqola amadolobha baqola imishado baqola o350 baqola inkolo baqola ama-Uber baqola izibongo baqola ama-ID baqola ukunyangwa baqola amaklinikhi baqola ukufunda baqola uNSFAS ngonyaka ozayo bazoqola ukuvota baqola kwasane phambi kwabo 2024 sithi sekwanele iFPT kungawe kusezandleni zakho ukuzikhulula yabo umixoxo lingafuni ukuphuma endlini awulokhu linenge ukuthi awubandla xoxo phuma baba phuma phela xoxo cha into enzayo you kick it out uhulumeni ongezwa ongafuni ukunakekela abantu eziwe zabo
Honorable
out
Honorable Khawula, I have been looking at who is leading the disobedience. It's Honorable Councillor Mthethwa and Councillor Ndlovu. Councillor Ndlovu, yes. Councillor Ndlovu of Mzumbe and Councillor Mthethwa of Ugu. Behave like leaders. Kuba kabisa. Simile, siyama same time.
Somlomo hloniphekile kick them out ake ngibone kulaba abathi inkathi
Usumthethwa no Ndlovu.
ake ngibone Somlomo usukungiphendula angikwazi ukuphendulana Somlomo ake ngibone kulaba abathi inkatha isayine ipact neqembu leDA namanye amaqembu ake nginikhumbuze ama-national angena kukhongolose uMartina Spankalbek ube ungqongqoshe kuhulumeni kaZuma anikaze nikhale ngokuthi seninabelungu namabhunu eqenjini lenu inkatha nabo bonke bambisene nabo bazonikhipha ngoba nihlulekile ukusifeza izidingo zabantu base-South Africa come 2024 kuzongena uhulumeni ohlala nabantu owaziwa abantu owazi abantu baphume osibanibani abaqumbisa amakhukhu abantu behluphekile lamakhukhu azobhoboka abanye la Somlomo ngeke ngibasho amagama abo bafunde ngamabhasari bewanika umntwana waphinda ngena namhlanje bazothi umntwana waphinda ngene ubengenzi lutho abanye la khona la somlomo abanye khona la ehleli nabo ziningi izinto abasenzele uhulumeni obuphethwe umntwana uhulumeni obuphethwe inkatha kodwa namhlanje bafihlile ngoba bafuna ukuzenza bahle la kumthombeni lethi imbonakalo siyalazi thina siphila nabo laba sikhule nabo laba abantu laba akade bonke bephila besizwa uhulumeni wakwaZulu ukube bekunenjalo bakhuluma isingisi basifundaphi abasifundanga emgaqweni.
Honorable Deputy Chief Whip and Honorable Smelane Tetelani ugabisa qhubeke. Kubeleka gabisa.
Ayeke
imaka ibambe gabisa. Umephinde wasukuma ubhuti onejacket emnyama neskipa nimkhiphele phandle. Qhubeka gabisa. Ulapha
Bake sicela ukuniphathisa bona bahlonishwa bongqongqoshe. Khona lento ekuthiwa Eskom enobugebengu ne-load shedding enamehlo.
You were out of when we
I don't know.
Sanukhulu izisukume kontonisha ngongimoro sobuphakathi azozenza umphakathi sizowakhipha. Ikhansela uyinkokheli abantu mababukele kuwena. Ngesikhathi eqeda kuthi umhlonishwa ukhansela uNdlovu nomhlonishwa ukhansela uMthemba yibo abenza lokho. Mangena umhlonishwa before discussing of committees. The last speaker is the leader of government business and also the leader of the majority party in the House, MEC for Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, the Honorable S.A. Duma.
Ngiyabonga kakhulu Somlomo ngokusinikeza leli thuba mahubela ngibingelele nosekela Somlomo uGabadela novele Nyandeni Magujwa siyabengela kuwe. Ngiyafisa ke mhlambe ningikhumbuza Somlomo okwenza seningibona ngidansa ungazi ukuthi le podium yami lento entshe eyifakile namhlanje abajwayele ukudansa bona abahlonishwa kudansa ngisho umntana inkosi ke namhlanje umhlonishwa ukhawula ikhona isifo esikhona esingenile sifisa ukubonga leli thuba sokunikeza debate in this August House in the presence of our people is indeed a privilege and a rare occurrence where as a member we must feedback to our people and account about our promises. The TLTP was designed as part of forum which incorporated in 1955 Kliptown is envisaged that people shall govern. And this is part of manifestation of what the ANC as the ruling part fought for. Whether you agree with us or you are diametrically opposed, we stand to listen. We stand to you to be audible in the presence of our people, and we afford the opportunity. Let me start by highlighting and elevating the principles that was presented by both Honorable Rogers and Babti, Honorable Somlomo Mama. Amongst other things, they are saying that the issue of water become a crisis in our context, the issue of electricity, which is indeed true. Although I must highlight, Honorable Babti talk as well about the economic growth. And unfortunately, Honorable Rogers, in his debate, he was too common in understanding the real thrust of economy. I'm sure we're all aware that when you debate using common sense, which is the lowest form of thinking, we can't take anything deliverable and actionable out of that debate. We must also just highlight, Honorable Rogers, that already on the issue of economic trajectory, our people didn't have the universal access because your government, the remnant of apartheid, only prioritized their haves. Only the white supremacists were only privileged to get water, electricity, roads, and so forth and so forth. Today, you are contemplating and you are crying foul. You are talking as well about deployment policy. Just remember what Helen Zille, the fascist DA lady, what she did on the first day taking an oath. She said, I'm not going to work with Wallace Mkoke, who was a doctor by profession. Why not Mkoke? He's a practitioner, but Mkoke comes from the ANC. You use the same ideology, the same theorem, but today you are crying foul because you are seeing these people. Ngiyafisa ke ukuthi ngisho ukuthi umsebenzi wesizwe uyaqhubeka akekho kumhlonishwa umphephethu. Ikhona ke nondaba into engifuna siyiqaphele ngoba sisebenza nabantu. Sisebenza ngabo futhi abantu ukuthi sibahloniphe nangeqiniso nangomlando waKwaZulu-Natal. Zikhona into engifuna sizi-avoid ngoba ngiyafisa sakhe isizwe egcineni kosuku. Angizokhuluma ngomunye short mina ngizokhuluma nje ukuthi ukhongolose esinye sesizathu azihlonipha kangaka ukuthi uyazi ulead society. Kunezimo esingakhuluma ngazo ze-service delivery kodwa ngeke silibalekele iqiniso. Ngizwile ke umongameli wenkatha uthi usho into ezimbili ezimangalisayo. Uthi oqala kuyofanele ukhongolose mawuthola ithuba nakuhulumeni uxolise ukuthi iwona wabulela abantu kwaZulu-Natal. Enye into yesibili ayishoyo uthi inkosi yesizwe sakaKhumalo esanda ukudlula emhlabeni kufanele kubhlenye ukhongolose ngokudlula kwayo emhlabeni ngoba siyiprotectanga. Ngiyazifisa noma sekwenzakaleni izinto ezisensitive like that singazikhulumi singazenzi. Uyabona kusifunda sasogwini sikusona uyalazi nondaba inkosi yakandela ayinayo ubaba namhlanje siyazi ukuthi ubani wabuya libabo inkosi. Inkosi uMaphumulo siyazi ubani wabuya inkosi but asifuni ukungena kulama podium sikhulume like that ngoba we are going to destroy this community. We want to build. Siyayazi udaba lakashobashobani. Siyayazi ama-Transpeat massacre. There are a lot. The Molife massacre. Sifuna ukukhuluma ngawo. Manje inkatha siyazama ukuthi simnqenqethe. Ithi inkatha no, sifuna ukushape the narrative usiqamba manga sithi ANC yabulala abantu. Udala uxolo oluthulu uthi ngabantu abawu-10,000 kangibalika. Who killed abantu? Udala uxolo oluthulu osendwe inkatha. Siyamazi umhlahla umlotha uJamile killed our people. Siyamazi umvuyane. So mesithola iplatform nepodium enje asikhumbule ukuthi at the end of the day we ought to lead the nobility of our people. I-issue service delivery fanele sakhe ngayo. Somlomo ke asizosho ukuthi zikhona into esingakenzeki ngenxa yesimo. Uma ungakhuluma ngomkhandlu wasogwini sikhona ke scheme sasemthavuna umeya we-district uyaqala uyavuma uthi ifikile imali evela kuzwelonke uyalivuma lo qiniso kodwa indawo yasogwini njengamanje ipopulation yayo cishe yaku-900,000 ngeke sikwazi ukubanelisa abantu ngosuku olodwa. Iqiniso siyazisholo thina ukuthi lo mkhandlu uyalimaza ngokuthi amanzi angafinyeleli kuzona zonke indawo. That's why ngo-2019 bekufika uComrade President uMatamela Ramaphosa asithi ke ngeke siseze ogwini sisekhona inkinga sithi sizoqhubeka size emkhandlwini ogusisa zenzeke zonke izinto uzufukuleka umnotho baze basizakala abantu bakithi. Uma nje ubona umnotho siyafisa ukuthi ngaphansi komzumbe municipality ulwandle lolo libonayo libasize ngakhona libalekelele abantu bakithi. So ngeke siziyeke izimo ezinjalo ngoba siyafisa ukuzenza. I-Operation Vula is designed for that ukuthi kunabantu abengeke banikezwe lutho ukuthi baziphilise. Namanje sithi siyafuna ukuqhubeka ibhizinisi ohambe ngenhlanhla wadlula eMarket Airport. Uyayikhumbula ukuthi beyinjalo le Market Airport. Sitshala u15 million uyayikhumbula ukuthi ishintshe kangakanani. Sebezokwazi abantu ukuthi basuke ku-Ugu district bakwazi ukuthi bazilekelele, bakwazi ukuthi nabo khona bazisize. Sikhulumile izolo namakhosi ukuthi ziyenzeka izinto. Ngiyamuzwa ke umhlonishwa owumfundisi uthi hayi kudonsa isihlili wenza isibonelo sesihlilinga ngisazi singena kanjani that ideology but uyasebenzisa nevertheless. Mhlonishwa municipal manager cishe uyakhumbula nje ukuthi eminye yemigaqo kade uyihamba KwaZulu-Natal bekade inganje. Yikho nto eshiwo uKabhisa honorable Khawula uthi labahlonishwa abawu4 babekade besebenza. Asikhuluma iqiniso oqala ukuthi uMadiba mengena wanikezwa upresident of the IFP iministry because isimo was not normal ngaleso sikhathi. So asikhulume correct ihistory ukuthi abazange benzelwe ifavor mazalankosi uKhabazela ucomrade uMabuyakhulu nga that time noComrade uDumsani Makhaya. It was because of merit ngoba nayo iIFP in 80 parliament yayikade inabantu abawu37 ayikaze ibe na more than 44 lesi sinawo ayikaze ibe na 52 anikaze ke iIFP neDA by the way bayireach the threshold ye-million. So uma abantu uzubabona benobamahlobo bethi bazaba wopremier bayaphupha emini kaBhaka ngeke bayithole indawo lonto. uKhongolose kuphela okwathola 2.5 wamavoti. Noma ungabahlanganisa ke oRogers nabonondaba ayinivumeli into ukuthi ningenza icoalition. Siyonibona nje next year sobe sihleli nani nibuya ngamavalient senidabukisa la siqhubeke siwulide futhi uhulumeni ngeke siwuyeke. Honorable Rogers, we are using the scenario of box, which the speaker has also elevated. It's true that you are all celebrating, but just remember, it is Rasi Erasmus who took a risk on the issue of transformation. He identifies certain guys, your Mampimpi, your Kolisi, your Lucanyo M. He was lambasted by the Afrikaner counterpart, saying to him that you are too conventional. You are not going to compromise and ensure that our quality is being lost. Today, you are celebrating, but you are not saying that he was being blamed. In some quarters, the policies of this world, when they were identified, they were defined and characterized as the quota. Just imagine a whole human being defined and characterized as the quota. Yet today, we are being too cynical and optimistic. But in the reality, you know that you are not true to the reality. You were part of those as the DA because you are the remnant of apartheid, by the way. The DA is still fascist in their nature. The DA still rely on the strength of neoliberalism. They don't believe on what we are currently saying, which is why you laughed, which is why that you just believe. By the way, sinishaye lapha ke ka-Ward 9 nihlangene nobabili ne-IFP sashaya 6,700. So ngenzela ukubona ukuthi is just a symbol. Honorable Speaker, sisabakhumbuza sithi just mark my word. In December, there are 5 by-elections in KwaZulu-Natal. Just take a wild guess and check who has the laughter at the end of the day. Siyafuna ke somlomo ukuthi sisho ukuthi ngeke siyeke indaba yokusevisa abantu bakithi, ngeke siliyeke uhwebo endaweni yaso Ugu district, ngeke futhi abantu singabakhumbuza ukuthi uN3 noN2 abahamba ngawo nje basikhuluma uyakhiwa. 5 billion has been launched as we speak kulonyaka wezimali esikhuluma ngawo. Uma behamba nje abahlonishwa bonke la ngaphakathi noma bethatha nje imlomo baze bayidabule yonke bahamba ku-N3 owakhiwa uSunrun nalabo abaphikisayo, and futhi we are not going to block them in the process. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker.
Tombe.
Honorable members, we have now come to the end of the debate and we therefore call upon the chairperson of committees, Honorable HDS Novemeber, to respond to the debate for 10 minutes.
Ngiyabonga somlomo ohloniphekile. Ngiyabonga nakumalungu ahloniphekile. Angazi noma ahlonipheke wonke na uma ngasho kanje. Kodwa ke ngicela ukuqala kumhlonishwa uCaluza othena mayivula inkulumo yakhe wakhuluma ngokuma phezulu kwentaba. Ngibabonile ke bebemphezulu kwezintaba noma bezama ukuzenza amadundu abanye intaba zangakubo ngoba beswela ukuthi bazothini kubantu basogwini ngoba kunomsebenzi esasiwenza kubantu basogwini ebesibika ngawo obekufanele baphendule kuwona. Manje ke umuntu emiphezulu kwentaba uyememeze nje engasazilaleli nokuthi umbiko awudlulisayo ufinyelela ngendlela okuyiyona yona yini. Ngifisa ukwedlula ke ngiye kumhlonishwa uGwala uma ethi umasipala waseThekwini oholwa yi-African National Congress kwembulwa kwembeswa. Angazi ukuthi bathinteka kanjani abantu basogwini ngokwembulwa kwembeswa komasipala waseThekwini. Kodwa ke i-freedom of speech okuyiyona eyalethwa yintando yeningi yiyona emenze wakwazi ukuthi akhulume ngalendlela akhuluma ngayo. Kuyangijobisa ke mhlonishwa uGwala ukuthi izixazululo eziqhamuka ne-African National Congress uyazemukela ngoba u-ANC KwaZulu-Natal uqale ukubusa ngo-2004. I-Tltp iqale ukuthi ize emphakathini abantu bakithi bazikhulumele sekubusa uhulumeni we-ANC. Kodwa umthethosisekelo ubuvele ukhona okuyiwona engiwukhowuthile okuyiwona owenza siye kubantu bakithi bakwazi ukuzikhulumela bazisholo amaphutha nenqubekela phambili kahulumeni wabo bakwazi ukuphendulana nongqongqoshe babo. Hlonishwa uBhapti, I'm happy that you understand why the program of the TLTP. So you agree with me in that the government allow introspection to better the services. We are leaving no stone unturned as the African National Congress, despite that we are leading as the African National Congress. Hlonishwa ucele, ngifisa ukuthi ngibonge ukuthi wazise ukuthi lo hulumeni oholwa u-African National Congress uqinisekisa ukuthi ukhipha amathimba ungabheki ukuthi ubani oholayo and unikeze abantu ithuba lokuthi bazikhulumele bona. Sibezwile abantu basogwini bezikhulumela izolo beyisholo udadewethu obevela eWard 18 eyisholo ngenqala sizinda ekhona eindaweni zakubo. Uma bekuhulumeni ongafisi ukuthi umele iqiniso ubungathula ungezi kubantu bakwazi ukuyikhulumela. Dadewethu Shinga, ngiyabonga ukuthi uyaqonda ukusebenza kahulumeni futhi uyakwazi ukuthi la uhulumeni enze kahle khona unqome la uhulumeni enze kahle khona nokuthathwa kweshayamthetho siyiswe kubantu. Uze wenza isibonelo ukuthi ezintweni eziyisikhombisa ezazibonakala ukuthi azihambi kahle kunye kuphela okusele okungaxazululiwe. Uma ungasubale in terms of percentages lokho kungakunikeza ukuthi it's more than 85%, okushoyo ukuthi ukuyisa ishayamthetho kubantu kuyasebenza ngempela. Siyabonga dadewethu. Fowethu Mantshinga, ngiyafisa ukuthi le nhlangano obuyimelela ngaphambili sengathi ngaba yilunga layo nami ngoba ucacise izimiso eyakhelwe phezukwayo, wacacisa nemigomo yayo, wakhuluma ngabaholi bayo okwathi singakabi kuhulumeni kwaba nezinhlelo abayishoyo okuyizona ezizokhombisa ukuthi inkululeko yabantu izoyiswa kanjani phambili. Ngiyayithanda inhlangano yakho Mantshinga, sengathi ngama njalo. Ngifisa ukudlulela ku-Honorable Rashbans
We really appreciate your contribution and advices that the municipalities must do in order to better the lives of our residents. I think it's the responsibility of all of us. Uma sithi sithatha iParliament silise kubantu. Ngidlulele kumhlonishwa uManxele. Ngiyabonga Duyaza. Ukhombisile namhlanje ukuthi uyinceku kaThixo, uyakwazi ukumela iqiniso, uvume lapho kwenziwe kahle khona ngoba ucacisile ukuthi abaphathiswa ngenkathi baphendule bayihlaba esikhonkosini besho izinsiza esezifikile kubantu bakithi waze washo nokuthi ucabanga ukuthi lo hulumeni wenze konke osemandleni usulindele ukubona i7 administration. I hope abantu bakwaZulu-Natal bazwile, they will not falter ukuthi bengabuyiseli uhulumeni okuyena obabekela bekhona. Ngicela ukwedlulela kumhlonishwa uSimelane. Ngiyabonga Magutshwa ukuthi ukhulume ngama interventions enziwe ilohulumeni ikakhulukazi kwingqala sizinda. Wabuka ngeso elibanzi isifundazwe sonke sakwaZulu-Natal ngoba noma sisogwini kodwa iqiniso lisuke lithi we are sampling umsebenzi kahulumeni wensenza iTLTP ukunikeza isithombe somsebenzi osuwenziwe ilohulumeni. Magutshwa kuyangithobisa ukuthi uhulumeni wakwaZulu-Natal uma uthatha izintambo kusukela emva ka1994 wenze ushintsho olwenza ukuthi isifundazwe sakwaZulu-Natal simnyama bhuqe kodwa babephethe ngo1975 kuze kufike ku2004 bakhala ubumaye la abasho ukuthi benzani bazositshela ngo-rand for rand kwakhokho baba nomama bethu behlupheka bengasebenzi bengathathi intweni kuthiwa abayikhokhele ezikoleni. Honorable Rogers, I really appreciate ukuthi you see the work of this government led by the African National Congress because you appreciate ukuwina kwamabhoke. Ake sikhumbuzane ukuthi i-World Cup aqale nini ukuyiwina amabhoke kusho ukuthi abecindezelwe all along because they only won i-World Cup in the democratic government led by the African National Congress. Siyababonga oMadiba ukuthi benze ukuthi ezemidlalo ngempela kwezemidlalo kungabi sixoxa nje njengoba abantu becabanga ukuthi singayixoxa. Awu mfowethu Khawula uyazi bengwethemba bengingakholwa ukuthi ungakhuluma kanje. Baba uMthombeni ucacisile ukuthi as much as on the bele babe IFP belida they were implementing the manifesto of the African National Congress. Hence, they were giving the services as the jabulisa abantu bakwaZulu-Natal bakhande imigwaqo emihle yetiyela esasingazange bone abantu bakhala potholes ekwakhiwe uhulumeni oholwa i-African National Congress ne-75 aze nikwazi ukuthi lezo yingwena ndalo to the leader of the African National Congress. In fact, you have opened the political class while we are standing on the podium. Ngoba we are having our differences, Abama issues. Again, abantu bakwaZulu-Natal okufanele banikezelwe ngezidingo nqangi ngakho lo hulumeni African National Congress uzobe uqinisekisa uletha izinsiza ungabheki ukuthi ukuletha ukukhuluma nathi la akubukwa ukuthi lezo zithuthi ziya kumawadi alidwa ngabantu be-African.
Mavimbela kancane ndibona ukuthi Honorable Deputy Chief Whip esukuma. Hayi, sufundise endaweni erongo. Fundisa lapho fanele ufundise.
Somlomo ohloniphekile, I rise on Rule 571A on a point of order so that this matter does not happen again. The Honorable Pumzile came with a non-member into the House, and I request that be investigated so that if there is a punishment that needs to be done, it must be done so, taking into consideration that this House started at 9 o'clock and this member is coming with a non-member at this late hour around 12 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Kodwa ngathi bekhuluma nami. Thank you, Deputy Chief Whip. I noted that, and I first want to remind the Chief Whip in terms of the rules are responsible for the discipline. I have noted that, and we will follow that and communicate with the member, Honorable Mavimbela.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Ukhombisile emthombeni uqina kokhakhayi. Ngiyakholwa ukuthi abantu basogwini bazophuma bazi ukuthi eyiphi inhlangano enabaholi abakwazi ukuhola bengabheki ukuthi ubuso obukabani kodwa benikezela idingo ngokufana njengoba khulunywa nge-social transformation ayigcini nge-social transformation kodwa kukhulunywa nange-cohesion. So that is the ANC led government that can only do that to the people of abantu basogwini. Ngiyabonga Somlomo hloniphekile.
Honorable Member, thank you. Thank you. Honorable members, hayi kabisa nokuthombile. Honorable members, we are very thankful for the way that you were debating, and we have now come to the end of the debate on the report of the multi-party visit held in June 2023 at Ugu District. The House now needs to vote on the report of the multi-party visit held in June 2023 at Ugu District. As per the request of the Committee of Chairpersons, I now put the question to the House, which is as follows. The KwaZulu-Natal legislature agrees to support the report of the multi-party visit held in June 2023 at Ugu District. As per the rules of this House, that allows for a party vote. I will then go on with the party voting, starting with the IFP.
Somlomo hloniphekile iqembu lenkatha liyasekela.
Siyabonga Mtimande. Service officers, note the members that are not in the House that they will not come in until we finish, so that the numbers are the numbers of people that were inside now. Democratic Alliance. Oh, how? Okay.
Thank you, Speaker. The Democratic Alliance adopts the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. The Economic Freedom Fighters that did not debate.
Somlomo iqembu le-Economic Freedom Fighters liyawemukela umbiko.
Siyabonga Hlabangani. The National Freedom Party kanjinji.
Mhlonishwa Somlomo, i-NFP iyongoma ukuthi umbiko mawumukelwe phansi kwezimo.
Siyabonga Nonengwa uzogcina understanding ukuthi when you are calling for a division you call it separately. When you vote you vote. Ngiyaxolela ufika i-terms iphakathi dadewethu. The Minority Front, Mrs. Tiger.
Thank you, Speaker. The Minority Front supports the report.
Thank you, Honorable Mrs. Rajbansi. The ACDP.
Somlomo, inhlangano yabangcwele, inhlangano yabasindisiweyo, iyawemukela lo mbiko, iyawubusisa futhi.
Sibonge kwinhlangano yabangcwele abazine democracy. Tuyazi. The ATM is not in the house. Now we come to the African National Congress. Uyangithusa phela Mtimande manje mawubiza uservice officer kanti ubukade uvota for i-report. Is there anyone there, acting secretary, on your platform? Can I then, Mr. Secretary, have the tally of the votes?
Votes in favor 62, vote against none, abstention none.
Honorable members, I therefore formally declare the result of the vote as follows. Those in favor are 62, those against are nil, and no abstentions. The ayes have it. That then concludes voting on the report of the multi-party visit held in June 2023 at Uku District. That the item, therefore, on the order paper concerning the report of the multi-party visit held in June 2023 at Uku District is concluded. We will now go to the next order. Honorable members, we are now going to the next order, which is to confirm a final mandate on the National Veld and Forest Fire Amendment Bill 2021, B24B of 2021. And to kickstart the debate, I am calling upon the Honorable Wiseman Mshengu, the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, to table the report of the committee for 5 minutes.
Thank you, our beautiful Honorable Speaker. She is indeed beautiful. Honorable Speaker, in terms of Section 42, subsection 2 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, the National Council of Provinces represents provinces to ensure that provincial interests are considered in the national sphere of government by participating in the national legislative process. The National Veld and Forest Fire Amendment Bill, B24B 2021, the bill, which is Section 76B in terms of the Constitution, was referred to the KwaZulu-Natal Portfolio Committee on Conservation and Environmental Affairs in terms of Rule 259, subsection 1 of the Standing Rules of the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature. Honorable Speaker, our report is long. I'm going to summarize by not reading section by section of the report because it is long and I'm only allocated 5 minutes. Section 118 of the Constitution compels the legislature and its committees to facilitate public involvement in the process. The Conservation and Environmental Affairs Portfolio Committee of KwaZulu-Natal therefore conducted 5 public hearings as follows in the province of KwaZulu-Natal on the period of the 2nd to the 23rd of August 2023. In Wavuma Town Hall, Mkhanyakude, Belgrade Community Hall, Zululand, Great Town Hall, Mzinyati District, Utrecht Town Hall, Amajuba District, as well as Wat 8 Hall in the Herigwala District. The notices, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, were issued on all provincial newspapers as well as other communication channel, including the website of the bill, as well as the translation into isiZulu. Honorable Speaker, the main discussion point or the purpose of the bill was to amend certain provisions of the National Veld and Forest Fire Act 1998 in order to amend and insert certain definitions, provide for facilitation of the formation of fire protection association by a municipality and a traditional council, compel a municipality, state-owned enterprises, public entity, and other organ of state which owns land to join fire protection association, extend the powers of entry, search and seizure and arrest to traditional leaders, and to amend the title of the act to the National Veld Fire Act. I must say, Honorable Speaker, that there was a number of proposals from stakeholders across the province. And when these proposals, starting from clause 7 of the bill, as well as section 26, that requires traditional leaders exercising powers under the Act to produce on request the prescribed proof of their identity and so on, was a necessity. All in all, Honorable Speaker, we were unfortunately disheartened by the behavior or the conduct of the Select Committee, given the progressiveness of the proposal that we have made and the suggestions that were made by the people of KwaZulu-Natal, where all the progressive proposals were rejected. But all in all, in light of the proceeding report, Honorable Speaker, the committee recommends that the legislature confer authority on one, the KwaZulu-Natal delegation to the NCOP to cast a vote rejecting the National Veld and Forest Fire Amendment Bill, Select Committee. The head of the provincial delegation to the NCOP or delegate designated by the head of the delegation to cast a vote rejecting the National Veld and Forest Fire Amendment Bill. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I submit the report for debate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mshengu. The first member to debate from the African National Congress, it's Honorable M.A. Dex for 7 minutes. Honorable Dex.
Good morning, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Premier, members of the Executive Council, members of the Portfolio Committee, leadership of the African National Congress. I think I need to point out firstly, Honorable Speaker, that the veld and forestry sector is a very important contributor to our GDP and job creation across the country. This means that the sector remains one of the solutions to our development challenges, which is the triple challenges of unemployment, poverty, and inequality. As a commitment organization in fostering economic and prosperity of its people, the African National Congress has been resolute in developing this sector while protecting the vulnerable and natural environment surrounding it. In monetary terms, forest products contribute about 34.5 billion to the economy, or about 0.6% of the GDP. The export value increased by 13% from 26 billion to 29 billion rand. This is underpinned by 1.2 million hectares of development forestry. But like many other sectors of the economy, this sector is still dominated by corporate and commercial owners who own 78.9%, with small growers only owning 3.7%. This sector definitely needs transformation. We need to ensure that more African people get involved in this sector. The forestry sector is currently responsible for 158,400 direct employment. The above creating these opportunities of our much needed economic development and providing tenable communal benefit, the sector further contributes to the health of the ecosystem, provide ecological stability to water catchment areas and contribute to the reduction of potential impacts of global warming. It is policies, but internally and in government, the ANC remains steadfast in protecting the environment and these forests through, amongst others, including the number of failed fires and bringing offenders to book. It fully recognizes the challenges of the sector, requires partnership with business and the community in ensuring sustainable growth and development whilst creating decent employment and sustainable livelihood. As such, in this process of legislating this sector as part of our endeavors, the ANC, with its long history of engagement with civil society, from the Freedom Charter to the Reconstruction Development Plan of 1994 to the Constitution of 1996, amongst others, remain committed to pluralistic approach that can take into account the views of all people. This is why, under the leadership of the ANC-led government, our legislature as a central institution of advancement of representative and participatory democracy remains a platform for robust debates, constructive information, and contestation of ideas that makes responsive and legitimate decisions for a better life for all. This means in the final analysis, the decisions and legislation taken and support by the legislature must always be an expression of quality and effective public participation that strengthens our democracy and provides for an inclusive socio-economic upliftment of the people. This is why, honorable members, as the ANC, we call for further engagement in order to deal with the prevailing challenges stemming from the proposed amendments, which our people were explicit about. Now, honorable members, from the committee, we traveled the length and the breadth of the province, consulting with communities throughout KwaZulu-Natal. It was a very, very long process and a very, very tiring process that we embarked on. And at the end of the day, when we have finished this consultation and we present the findings to the NCOP, and we find that it just gets rejected without any consideration get given to it, we give us the impression that it seems like it is just merely an exercise to tick the boxes. And one of the main concerns that we had about regarding this bill is the powers that the bill wants to confer on to traditional leaders, that of a search, arrest, which we found was very problematic for the committee, because we know that in terms of the constitution and the law of this country, those powers are conferred to the police. And our concern is that if this bill gets challenged, will that section meet or constitutional muster if it goes to the constitutional court? And therefore, we pointed this out to the NCOP that these are the concerns of the public, the inputs that the public have made. But unfortunately, the bill was, our inputs from the province was rejected. And we felt that perhaps we should also write to the NCOP to raise the concerns of the committee regarding the rejection of these legitimate proposals that was made by the community. And we believe strongly, as I said previously, that this should not just be an exercise to tick the boxes, that when we have done extensive consultation, that these consultations must really be, well, the inputs must really be discussed and be debated at the NCOP before it gets rejected. Therefore, we as a committee have decided we will reject this bill, Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tex. The next member to debate from the Inkatha Freedom Party, it's Honorable S. Mutley for 5 minutes. Honorable Mutley.
Honorable Chairperson, Honorable Speaker, Honorable members, all protocol observed. The IFP as the official opposition in KZN welcomes the report as delivered by the Honorable Chairperson. It notes the National Veld and Forest Fire Amendment Bill, which is a Section 76 bill affecting the provinces. The bill aims to amend the Principal Act of 1998 to improve its administration, provide technical enhancements, align the legislation with the Constitution, and ensure that the Act is responsive and relevant in combating and preventing fel fires. The IFP notes the dangers posed by fel fires. It leads to severe environmental degradation, reduces land cover, thus exposing the land to agents of accelerated soil erosion, changes in hydrological cycle, increase in overland flow or surface runoff, and modifications in various logical processes. Further, the IFP respects the traditional leaders who were there during the pre-colonial era, the colonial era, and the post-colonial era. They have always been there to defend their land, their livestock, and their communities. The traditional leaders of our country were actually the first freedom fighters. Therefore, the institution of Ubukhosi is inherent in us. It is important to our communities, and is of historical value and significance to South Africa. Chapter 12 of the Constitution of South Africa, 1996, stipulates and specifically acknowledges the institution of traditional leaders, its role, its place in the system of democratic governance. But it noted with concern the proposed amendment to Clause 7 of the bill, as it confers enforcement powers of search, seizure, and arrest of traditional leaders. We concur with the view that this might lead to abuse of power by some traditional leaders and support the proposal that they must be assisted by police. The IFP is of the view that the exclusion of proposals made by the KZN team of the bill warrants its objection. We believe that the Select Committee took KZN for granted. Public hearings became a futile exercise and wasteful expenditure of public funds, as suggestions that were raised were not considered. We wondered what was the use of the KZN legislature to conduct public hearings if it would be undermined. Having said that, the IFP rejects the bill. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mutley. The next member to debate is Honorable H.U. Tepur of the Democratic Alliance for 4 minutes. Honorable Tepur.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. There's been so many negative things said this morning. Let me start with something positive, and that is the greetings from the Democratic Alliance Premier candidate, Chris Pappas, the mayor of our DA-led municipality, who sends his warm regards and hopes to see you on his 1+1=win campaign that he'll be bringing to the Ugu district very soon. He'll be sharing his vision of good governance, prudent fiscal discipline, job creation, and of course, safer communities. And all of that is because the DA governments don't steal money. He's a man of action. And he's not at public meetings where he makes empty promises, the kind of promises that have been made to you this morning, the members of the public. Look out for Mr. Pappas. He's a man of his word. Madam Chair, moving on to the bill before us, we stand united in returning an against mandate to the NCOP on the Veld and Forest Fire Amendment Bill. More importantly, the Conservation and Environmental Affairs Committee frankly remains appalled at the apparent lack of interest the National Select Committee has shown in dealing effectively with such a critical piece of legislation. I'll say it again, Chris Pappas, the DA mayor, just to satisfy you, Honorable Duma. Whereas the intent of the bill is to prevent the widespread destruction of natural and economic resources by fire, in its current format, it remains potentially unconstitutional and both factually and grammatically flawed. Chris Pappas. Moreover, the Select Committee has largely ignored substantive legal opinion on the wording of some chapters, and according to reports, were somewhat disinterested in the online meeting proceedings. Chris Pappas. This, Madam Speaker, cannot be tolerated, and we welcome suggestions of the Honourable Chairperson to officially write to both the Select Committee and NCOP chairpersons. I thank you, Honourable Chair. Chris Pappas.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tepur. The next member to debate is Honorable H.P. Kiliza of the Economic Freedom Fighters for 3 minutes. Honorable Kiliza. Nginikeza ithuba lokugcina Honorable Tltp. If she is not responding, I will call upon the next member to debate. Honorable HP Tltp of the EFF. Honorable Tltp is not responding even on visual platform. So honorable member, the next member to debate, it's Honorable CM Shinga of the National Freedom Party for 1 minute. Akshingi wena, akshingi sibongo dadewethu. The platform is yours, 1 minute.
Hey, Mkhaya. Honorable Speaker. Go back. Go back. Honorable Speaker, the NFP supports the National Field and Forest and Fire Amendment Bill of all references to the Traditional Leadership and Governance Framework to be replaced with Traditional and Khoisan Leadership Act. There is general lack of understanding about forest and field fires in communities, and the government is urged to do more to empower communities. The department must encourage awareness and capacity building for dealing with forest and field fires. Municipalities and traditional councils, as well as other role players who will be assigned new obligations and functions under VFFA bill, must be equipped with necessary training and skills to carry out those responsibilities successfully. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Member. The next member for 1 minute is the Honorable Esther Korraj-Banzi of the Minority Front.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The MF supports the report by the Conservation Committee not to confer the voting mandate to the NCOP Select Committee in favor of this National Felt and Forest and Fire Amendment Bill in its current form until the grey areas of expanded search and seizure powers are dealt with, as well as the pollution and other risk factors associated with fire as a management method in conservation and agriculture is addressed to the extent to mitigate climate change headaches. Thank you.
The next member, the ATM is not in the House, African, or the ATM. The next member now would be the ACDP for 1 minute.
Somlomo.
Honorable Manqele awuthi kancane. Uthi gozololo mfundisi. Wafundela ama-rules athi uhlala phansi. Which rule Ngamalala?
Honorable Speaker, ngiphakamisa go-rule 57A. 57(1)A.
Okay.
Point of order.
Ilindeke siyofika. What is your point of order?
Mhlonishwa Speaker, sicela ukuthi indlu yakho ihlonipheke. Ama-rules ale ekhaya athi umuntu ubhawa phambi kwakho, akubhawa ngaphandle kwe-chamber. UDebor ubhawe lapha ngaphandle kwe-chamber, not phambi kwakho. Angazi noba mhlawumbe ukwenza lokho ngoba umuntu omnyama na.
I did not see it, but if honorable member, you had bowed outside the House, I honestly think it should have been an oversight on your side. Do bow inside the House before you leave and as you enter. Thank you, Honorable Ngamalala. Now we will call upon Honorable S.E. Manqele for 1 minute.
Somlomo. I-ACDP iyakweseka ukuthi lo mthetho sivivinywa uphasiswe ube impumelelo. Ngoba udaba lomlilo wequbula uhlala njalo unokusikhathaza. Siyawazi ukuthi kwesinye isikhathi uyayisukela nje
ngezinto natural kwesinye isikhathi baphezulu ke-temperature nongabikho kwemvula efanelekile bese uvela usuka nje esikhaleni singawunakile. Ngakho-ke siyadinga ukuthi lo mthetho ubekwe ukuze sibone ukuthi sivikeleka kanjani thina nemfuyo yethu nakho konke ongokwethu. Siyazi futhi ukuthi lo uma wenzeke kabi endaweni zethu siyalimala kwi-economy yethu nakwezemvelo.
Uthe usindisiwe kaloku ngoku. Uma sendikumisile kusho ukuthi amanye ama-minute uyawantshontsha.
Angaze ngizwe speaking misa. Ngiyaxolisa speak. Ngiyabonga speak.
Thank you. The next member for 7 minutes is the Honorable Emmanuel V. Dube for 7 minutes on behalf of the ANC.
Awalibonga igama lenkosi. Somlomo weshamthethwa Honorable Boys undunankulu waKwaZulu-Natal Nyamazane. Icabinet yakho njengamanje siholo wena Mthombeni. Abaholi bonke baka-African National Congress, amalunga ahloniphekile aka-African National Congress. Ngibingelele-ke namalunga aphesheya ngale ikakhulukazi umfundisi uZondi. Ngiyakubingelela ncike yenkosi. Amen. Ngikholwa ukuthi usuzobalungisa abangalapha abangalungile. Abakhuluma bamampunge wena sesithembele wena. Empeleni lo mthetho sivivinywa indlela obubaluleke ngayo Somlomo ingenxa yokuthi KwaZulu-Natal siba nayo inkinga yokuthi kuvele kube nequbula lomlilo. Lo mlilo mawusuqhubukile ukudale izinkinga ezinkulu emphakathini yakithi. Kuba khona amaplazi ashayo, kube khona imizi eshayo. Ingakho-ke uhulumeni ohola ukhongolose ubone kubaluleke ukuthi lo mthetho osivivinya ake siwubhekisise. Ukubalula-ke lo mthetho osivivinya kakhulu ukuthi abantu abanikazi bomhlaba akube yibona abazokwenza isiqiniseko sokuthi uma ibhebhetheka lemlilo ibona ababa nendlela yokuhlangana bayicishe. Ingaze inkinga yandele abantu bakithi balimale. Enye into ebalulwa ilomthetho sivivinywa ukuthi uma ngabe umlilo usha kufanele ukuthi omasipala babe nengqalasizinda efanelekile yokucisha imililo. Ukusha komlilo-ke kuyawukhwinyabeza umnotho wakithi KwaZulu-Natal. Ingakho-ke sahamba-ke isifundazwe sonke saKwaZulu-Natal sifundisa kabanzi ngalo mshophi okuwenzeke wokubhebhetheka komlilo. Ingakho ngimangalile nje uma omunye uzakwethu we-DA efike ebala phambili ekhuluma ngopurpose engakhulumi ngemlilo edaleka emaplazini abo igcina isingenelela emzini yabantu kusha abantu kulimale nemfuyo nempahla yabanye abantu. Ngoba imililo iqala khona emaplazini bangabi nawo amabhleki imuve njalo iziyokusha imizi yabantu abakhe emaplazini. Uyangimangaza-ke kusho kona ukuthi i-DA ayikaze ibe nenhliziyo yokunakekela abantu. Basicabangela bona noma bangawubasa umlilo noma ungabhebhetheka umlilo uyosha izindlu zabantu akubakhathazi lokho. Uma bekhuluma nje ngopurpose uma befike kule ndawo kusuke banele kakhulu. Sizibuza ukuthi ubani lo purpose okukhulunywa ngaye. Nizobona-ke ngonyaka ozayo ukuthi lo purpose omenyezwa kangaka angeke aqhamuke ngisho nangekhala noma ngabe lide kangakanani angeke aqhamuke nangekhala. Ngoba ngonyaka ozayo kuzobe kungadlalwa sizobe ibhudulisana futhi ukhongolose usazoyiprova beyond doubt ukuthi yona nhlangano eyabekwa obaba omkhulu. Uthi ubaba umgojo ngelinye ilanga mayekhuluma uthi singazisusi ikhonkwane ezabekwa obaba omkhulu. Ngikholwa ukuthi lokho nje kukodwa kuzobenza abantu bagxumagxume baye enhlanganweni ezingonontanda kubukwa ezivuka endleleni ezingalwelanga amalungelo abantu. Into eyodwa esingayivumi thina kulomthetho sisekelo ithi asingathathi amakhosi siwanikeza amandla okubopha. Asikusho lokho ngoba amakhosi singawahloniphi. Kodwa amakhosi ahlonipheke kakhulu ukuthi angenziwa onongaye noma amaphoyisa okuzothi makusho umlilo bese sithi inkosi ayihambi yobopha abantu. Amaphoyisa sikholwa ukuthi kusafanele aqhubeke enze umsebenzi wawo. Njengamanje amakhosi abhekene nenselelo eziningi awanayo ingqalazinda yokuyivikela nendawo ukufaka abantu abasuke beboshela ukuthi baqala umlilo. Inkinga izoba nkulu mangabe sotha wanikezwa amandla manje ukuthi abophane nabantu. Ingakho sithi cha ayicwaninge lento ibhekwe kabusha ukuthi ikhona indlela esingayenza ukuthi kuvikeleke amakhosi kodwa futhi kuvikeleke abantu nokuthi imililo ingaqhubeki ibhebhetheke. Njengohulumeni ka-ANC abanye abantu bebengeke bekubone kubalekile ukuthi babavikele abantu kule mlilo eshisa kangaka noma lemlilo ebhebhetheka kangaka. Kodwa kuyinqubo mgomo kakhongolose ukuvikela abantu bezalwa baze bayoshona. Ngiyazi ukuthi abaningi bethu namhlanje bazomalanga phambili bashaya amagemfe ngoba badinga ivoti. Kodwa iqiniso ukuthi inhlangano eyazalwa ngo-1912 kuhlangene abefundisi kwahlangana amakhosi kwahlangana osomabhizinisi bavumelana ngalelo langa ukuthi cha kuzofanele ukuthi u-African National Congress wakhiwe uvikele isithunzi somuntu omnyama. Akukaze kushintshe lokho namanje sisakholela ukuthi i-ANC iyona nhlangano eyokwazi ukuvikela isithunzi somuntu omnyama. Iyona nhlangano enobhoko olubizwa ngomthetho sisekelo noma umqulu wabantu owahlanganisa amakhosi nabefundisi nosomabhizinisi bahlangana bathi i-Freedom Charter iyoba udondolo oluzokwenza lunikeze isiqiniseko sokuthi abantu bakithi abamnyama bayavikeleka. I-constitution yakithi yezwe lakithi eSouth Africa incike kakhulu kulolu dondolo. Siyafisa ukuthi abantu bakithi bangeduki nangelinye ilanga ucabanga ukuthi kuyoqhamuka omunye uMesaya oyoshumayela elinye ivangeli. Ivangeli elibalulekile elikakhongolose ethi Mzulu, Mtswana, Msuthu hlanganani ukuze izwe lethu livikelele. I want to declare standing here that the African National Congress yazibophezelela from 1912 ukukhulula abantu abamnyama. 2024, we are still committed that we are going to bring freedom and more freedom and more freedom to the people of KwaZulu-Natal. That is why I would say ANC reign, ANC lead, and ANC direct. Sinethemba lokuthi ke ngonyaka ozayo abantu bazovotela ukhongolose, abantu bawuthanda ukhongolose ikakhulukazi ogwini ngoba kaze kube khona enye inhlangano ebusayo. Selokwabo ukhongolose yebo bayavela nabanye wake wavela noGabisa lamshaya ivoti namhlanje uhleli nje ngala akanamandla uphathwa yithi ngapha wake waphatha umphephethwa lamshaya ivoti ngakho ke siyabonga.
Honorable Dube.